Greetings, everyone, and welcome to another exciting geekfulness-packed edition of Saturday Night InSaNiTy.
Swamp Ass edition.
I have to pee. I'll be right back.
I think I also have to pee, but I'm gonna hold it until I explode.
So yeah, me and Stoudman came in agreement. I have to go to the bathroom too, so he's going first, and I'm gonna go so you have someone to talk with while you're,
Okay, well that's nice for our viewers.
But if you have to pee, you should go pee before I go, because I'm gonna be longer than peeing. So
That's fine. I'll wait for Stoud to get back.
yeah,
Well,
so when
and
Stoudman's back,
And then
you go pee. Me and Stoud will hold the fort, and then you come back. I'll go poo.
there's
Hi, Skeletor.
poo that needs to happen. I see.
See Skeletor's tail.
So we just did the longest pre-show that we've done in years. So those of you, it was at least, how fucking long was it? Oh wait a minute,
It was like 3 hours.
It was like 3 hours. Yeah, it was like a 3 hour long.
It's like an S&I
So
work.
those, now I'm tired to do S&I. Anyway, for all those of you who have been watching the live stream archives of the old Saturday Night InSaNiTy episodes and stuff, and said, boy, I sure miss the way it used to be. It was just so loose and casual and stuff. That's the pre-show. So if you want that, watch the pre-show, because the pre-show is like the old style S&I, where we just kind of shoot the shit about whatever. And we had some really good chit chat in this week's pre-show. Actually, we touched on some politics, because Stoudman, I just blame Stoud for that. And then we got into like a whole bunch of different geeky conversations. We ranted about scalpers some more, as we often do. We talked about bad movies and
shit.
yeah,
Excuse me, what?
and just I don't know, all kinds of stuff. So check it out. It's the show before the show, and we don't do it all the time, but when we do, we often do it.
I'd actually say we do it rarely.
Yeah, we do. We do it rarely. I put them all on the playlist, so they're all there. You can see them.
Yep.
Or just search pre-show on my videos, and you can find all of them. And
you also do pre-space show, it should still find it.
I think so. What?
Do that.
What? What?
Put cheese in it. It's so good.
You put cheese in your mac and cheese. What a concept!
Extra cheese, baby. Extra cheese.
Yeah.
Or the cheese.
Just don't go using up all that cheese. It's supposed to be for omelets and wraps. All right. Anyway. Cheese is expensive in Canada, so we try to make it last here in the Zaranyzerak household.
And your child is growing and has a empty bottomless pit for a stomach.
Insatiable hunger for cheese.
Yeah, well, who doesn't?
Well, this is true. I love cheese too.
Look, I'm lactose intolerant and I love cheese. I will never quit cheese.
It's like, I'll just suffer. Worth it. No regrets.
I get gassy.
I regret nothing.
When I eat milk products, I get like hot and flush, like a fever.
Oh wow!
For a little bit, yeah. Like
yeah.
There you
go.
It's annoying, but chocolate and cheese are worth it.
Mm-hmm. Hell yeah.
2 things.
They are sinfully delicious.
I do try to go easy on the cheese usually, but like the chocolate, I can't. Like I have no.
No
way to stop myself from
if
devouring.
There's chocolate around, it's. If I don't eat it, Rosie does.
Yeah. gone
It's
very
just-
soon
It's
after entering the
gone
house.
very quickly. Like, yeah, I swear we put on like 30 pounds every Halloween just from the sheer number of mini chocolate
You're lucky
bars.
I made it home
bring
without
in.
eating it first.
Yeah. It's all 50 of these mini chocolate bars while I was walking across the street from the store.
Right.
All right.
Yes.
Stoudman has returned. He's tangled around something. Okay, here he goes.
Oh, he's got to pay cat tax
Oh,
on.
oh, yeah, he's gotta say hello to Skeletor. Hello, kitty.
Is that about
Otherwise,
Yeah.
she might at him
That's
and,
right.
and end his
Here
life
he comes.
by the power of
Here he
Grayskull.
Look out.
Thanks, Jess.
Yeah, well, just navigating all the empty cans or whatever's on his floor. We don't really know. I'm only
You
guessing.
landed with me hovering above the air.
And so that's why it was entirely Stoud's fault. And oh, hi Stoud, how's it going? Good to see you back.
Hi, how's it going?
Yeah, we saw you.
Feeling
Something
much better.
something on the back of your door attacked you as you came in the room. There, it looked like you almost took the door
Do you
with
want to know what that is?
Yes, I
Okay.
do.
I have a 10-foot USB extension cord,
Okay.
so that
Yeah.
I can connect my my USB wireless adapter
Okay.
to that extension cord,
Yeah.
so that I can get a better fucking signal from it.
Oh, it's from the
And I have it
internet.
hanging over the fucking door, and I
Okay.
was pulling it down a little bit there, because if it's sitting next to the shirts, it doesn't get as good a signal.
Oh my
So I pull it
god.
down below the shirts, gets a better signal.
Wow, okay.
Yes, that's how fucking
You know,
janky
that's your
my
life.
setup is.
We.
right
I had no idea.
That's why
Amazing.
Dennis so spotty, right?
That's like the old, the way old cell phones would work. When you'd be like, you'd have the headphones plugged in, and you'd be like holding the phone and like standing on
Dude.
one foot and.
I remember
Patting
being
your
on the fucking
tummy.
Nokia and literally leaning like this and getting better reception. I mean, like,
Yeah, yeah.
what the fuck is that shit?
Exactly.
You know,
Yeah.
hi, Skeletor,
Hey,
it's okay.
Skeletor. How's it
Go
doing?
pee,
How's it
Sean.
doing?
Get the-
Oh yes, I
Your
have to go pee so Skinslip can go poo. I'll be back.
Because he's like, oh, I have to go pee too. I'm like, well, I will wait till you go pee then.
Kitten's like, let me go. I'm not
She's
letting
so
you go,
pretty. I hope her and Sherlock get along together.
kitten. Me too.
I just really want. I know I'm getting my hopes up. I really want them after their adjusting period to start snuggling on each other. I'm like, yes, please, love each other.
It's like,
couldn't
let me
snuggle.
go. See her tail going back and forth, like, let me
The look of her
go.
face is like, ugh.
Let me go.
What are you doing? Why are you embarrassing me? You embarrass me.
Meow. Hi.
I'm big compared to you.
Okay.
Tiny little shit.
So yeah, there's this series I want to watch with Skinslip on Netflix.
Okay.
What was it called again?
Jupiter's Legacy?
No.
Oh.
This is a series about the Central Park 5.
What about Jupiter's Legacy?
No, I want to watch something, hard to watch.
But what about the legacy that is Jupiter's?
I mean, I have it on my list, but that's not what I'm talking about. So.
Okay, I'm back.
I love her. Oh my god, are you kidding me? I got one.
So yeah. In summation, Stoudman's a twat.
Yes, I concur.
Yeah, it's called When They See Us. That's what it is.
What are you
I
talking
think
about?
it's on my list, so yeah, I'm putting him down for
When
that.
they see us?
Yeah, documentary.
Oh, cool.
Documentary series. You know, our true crime shit.
Nice.
It's actually not a documentary. It's a what do you
Movie?
There's a few
Call
new
it? No,
ones.
Miniseries?
it's this mini-series. Like
That's a
four
fucking
episode-
movie for people who can't sit through 5
Yeah.
hours.
Yeah.
Losers.
Correct.
I'm kidding.
But
You're not losers.
They, of course, Netflix calls it a limited series. It's
It
only
is
4
limited.
Well, you know,
Yeah.
Twin Peaks: The Return is technically a movie, and it's an 18-hour-long movie split into 18 parts.
Mhm.
Wow.
But that's how David Lynch considers it, is as one.
I really like
movie.
that one episode.
Like
You know what I'm talking about.
that's how I look
I
at a
know,
lot
the one
of
everybody talks about.
like the way I watch shows is I watch them in movie-sized chunks. That's my
Yeah.
attention span.
I can't
Yeah,
wait till
I usually
Skinslip
do
sees
that.
that episode, by the way. Oh my god.
If it's like
love
an
it.
hour-long show, like
show?
45, like Twin
Twin
Peaks: The
Peaks: The
Return,
Return.
the second
I
Twin
need to
Peaks.
see those.
Yeah, definitely. I need to get the Blu-ray of that. But like when I'm watching a show, like say an hour show, it's like 45 minutes without commercials. I'll watch like 4 or 5 episodes. So to me, that's a movie length.
Yeah.
You know.
I mean, sometimes we'll do 5 or 6. If there's only 6 episodes, we'll go right through the 6. And
Well,
we'll
yeah,
do it. But,
or if there's like a big cliffhanger on episode
if it's
5, you gotta
8,
watch the next one. You
I
know.
think if it's less than 8 or less episodes, we usually do it in like one go.
Yeah. Like with what was it, Max Headroom, I think we did in 3. So we did like I think we
Yeah.
did all six of the first season in one day, and then we did like 4 and 4 for the second season, something
We
like
streamed
that.
it all, didn't we?
Yeah, we did. We did all of them.
Over on your YouTube, you would say.
It was so good to watch that show again. I was so happy
I
to
love
share it
your
with you guys.
tradeful gift, by the way, for the Twitter, the tweet.
Yes.
Some say a waste of time, others say an incredible waste of time.
Yes. Well, I guess I realized because in the I was looking for things that went with "It's time" because the tweet says "It's time" for Saturday Night Insanity, and that one came up, and it's like some say a waste of time, some
It's
say
the
an
perfect
incredible
fucking-
waste
yeah.
of time, and I was like, oh, that's so perfect. Yes.
Oh, Conan.
Hmm.
What?
I love Conan. He's retiring, eh? Well, at least from the
Well,
the
from-
show.
yeah.
Yeah, and he's going to
But
do.
as we all know, based on the documentary that came out like 10 years ago, Conan O'Brien can't stop.
the was that
That's a
the
great doc, by the way.
was
He's
that
still going to be
yeah.
doing other things. It's just he won't.
was that the Late Shift? Was that the one? Or no, the Late Shift was about David Letterman.
No, this is called "You Can't Stop." Whatever.
Oh, okay.
It was a
Uh,
documentary about the time when he left
The-
that show.
Yes, and then he came back because they thought.
His new show.
So,
It
yeah.
was about him and that whole transition, the
Oh,
chaos.
right.
of all that.
Right. We went from one network
So
to the other.
Very good
I remember that.
documentary about
I
how
really-
he got fucked.
I-
He got fucked.
He really did. Yeah, I'm glad that he
Super
stuck it
sad.
to them by saying, "No, fuck you. I'm not going to stay off television for a year and a half, whatever the deal they wanted to make
Yep.
with him was." And he
That's how you know he's good.
he went
because, like,
straight over to the other network, and it's like, "Yep, I'll do your show."
Yeah.
And it's
You
been
know he's
running
good
even
because-
longer. Yeah.
They don't like him.
Yeah.
They fucking need him. They
know.
they need him because he keeps getting fucking
Yeah.
work.
But another one I would highly recommend is one called The Late Shift, which was
I watched the fucking primetime premiere of that goddamn movie.
that was a great movie. Yeah, I saw
So
it
good.
later, but it was for those who don't know, it was basically about when Johnny Carson was retiring, and there was a lot of competition between the other big late night talk show hosts to take over the Tonight
Yeah.
Show.
And I can't remember who got screwed. One of those two, either Letterman or
Letterman got screwed.
Yeah, one of them got screwed.
yeah.
I remember that's what it's all about.
And
it's,
Letterman
yeah.
got screwed, and Leno was the one who got the job. And I think that was actually one of the things that prompted Letterman to leave NBC, and he went over to CBS. He was like, "Fuck you, I'm out of here." And who can blame him? So you'd think they would have learned from that and not tried to screw over Conan in a sort of similar fashion, but nope, they didn't.
Nightmare.
They didn't. I think that was the same network too, actually. NBC again. There's just no love at NBC.
I mean, I've heard CBS isn't much better.
No,
You know.
network television is
Yeah.
hell.
No, network television. Well, that's what that's what Max Headroom was all about. It was like the
Every
satire.
show dies a death of 1,000 cuts.
Yeah.
Every show.
the,
every
the
show.
hell of 1,000 cuts.
Yeah.
But
I have a friend of a friend who I was talking to casually,
mhm,
and they're talking about like working just with Cartoon Network was a pain in the ass.
yeah.
Like
It's like
they
even
just
like a
hated
smaller
it.
network there. Yeah.
They just felt like they had to keep making compromises for some silly mundane shit.
Yeah. Oh
And it
god,
felt
what
like-
the infamous
Yeah.
network notes for everything. It's like
Oh.
even worse than what movies go through.
Someone literally he read some of those notes. He literally said the note said it insists upon itself. He's like, "Are you fucking kidding me?
Seriously?
Are you fucking?" I was like, "Are you fucking kidding me?" I lost my shit because we make jokes about that all the fucking
Well,
time.
it's from Family Guy. Family Guy made
Yeah.
jokes about that. I
Which
wonder if
really
that's
means that
wonder-
That's the same fucking exact, and you fucking know it.
Yes.
I wonder.
You know
yeah,
it is.
Yeah.
By the way, the
Because
show
it's
is
a
Megas
reference.
XLR. But
Absolutely, it's a
Yeah.
reference.
Yeah.
I was talking with a friend who's hanging out with one of the guys who created an Megas XLR, which is how I
Okay.
know that the show won't get released on media because there's some falling out between the creators.
Yeah. Yeah. There is
one of
some.
those-
I mean, it's been 10 years. You never know. Bridges can be rebuilt.
Yeah, it's
I mean,
well. There was a reason that we didn't get all the different cuts of Blade Runner for a long time either. There was like a big kerfuffle with one of the screenwriters or producers or something. But I did hear recently that a lot of the other productions by the guy who made Megas XLR are actually getting Blu-ray releases very soon.
hell yes.
Like Metalocalypse and
Yeah.
whatever
I
other
mean, yeah,
ones
yeah.
he did. Yeah. Oh, Venture Brothers, I think was another one. Is I know that one's getting a movie, but I think it's getting a Blu-ray release as well. Don't quote me on that. I could be misremembering that, but it
Yeah.
might be in the news this week. I don't know. We'll find out. But
And like I stood in the room with my friend's dad, like my friend of a friend's dad, was a writer on Avatar: The Last Airbender, and I'm sitting here talking,
okay. Nice.
talking with him about some other mundane shit. Looking around, there's a lot of Avatar stuff here. It's interesting. I'm like, big fan. Now you might say that. Never said why. He might say, and then I walk out and he's like, you know, he's one of the writers. Like, are you fucking kidding me? That's hilarious.
Oh my god. It can't even be embarrassed by that. It's just
No, that's great.
It's like
Oh my
suddenly you're in on the joke and you realize.
I've never
yeah.
seen it, so I have fucking
Yeah.
no idea.
No, I haven't
you know?
seen it. I've heard it's fantastic. I really want to
I
see
do
it one
too.
of these days. But that and the Legend of Korra, which ties into it apparently.
Yeah,
But
the lesbian one. That's the one.
oh yeah,
lesbian.
and Michael the collector says Aqua Teen Hunger Force is also getting a second movie, so that's pretty cool.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm gonna actually go use the restroom. I'll be back.
Okay.
All right. You have no idea. Whenever I sneeze now, like every single fucking time, it's a mini throwing up my back situation.
I don't doubt
It's
it.
like-
I don't doubt it.
The muscles in my back tense up
Yeah.
and refuse to untense.
Mhm.
Let me move again.
Michael says, "Are you listening to opera music, Stoud? So dramatic."
Oh,
Your overly dramatic sneezes. So I wanted to mention something to you, Stoud, specifically pertaining to you, specifically. So, as I mentioned, I've been showing Ray, my girlfriend, a lot of stuff that she's never seen before. And just on a whim, I was going through my hard drive. She'd pulled up a chair, and we were just kind of chatting and hanging out, and we didn't really want to go to bed yet. And it's like, oh, let me show you this thing I did a while ago. And I was just going to show, like, the intro. And what I was showing her was 5 Awesome Studs Survivor. Now, you may recall a few years back when I was doing the 5 Awesome Studs, or the 5 Awesome Studs Classics reposts on my channel, because the original channel is long since dead. I basically did a compilation of the competition where we were searching for new studs. So I did a compilation of everything pertaining to every episode of that, all the entrants and all the challenges and stuff like that, and put them all together into 4 compilation videos of about 70 minutes or so apiece. So we sat down and we watched the entire first episode and about half of the second episode. I was thinking, I forgot how well made these were. Like, not just my parts, but everybody's parts. Like, everyone really went all out for these, and, you know, it was really quite gripping entertainment. Like, who's going to win? So when your segments came on, she was just like, "That's Stoud?" I'm like, "Yeah." Of course, you didn't have the long hair. You had shorter hair. You didn't have the beard. So it's
Yeah.
like babyface Stoud. And it just really threw her for a loop. It's like I mean, it's Stoud's voice, but coming out of this baby face, I can't reconcile the two.
yes. I have since learned that I look so much better with a beard. It's like it
definitely
fits.
suits you, yeah.
Works.
Yeah. Gives your face more character, I guess, more
Fortunately,
definition.
the way that it grew in this time means that there's like nothing right here. I don't know
No,
why.
no. You could turn that into a big ass Lemmy, maybe. I don't know. But what?
Can I stay up to 10:30?
No.
No.
No, you already got an extension. You've had plenty of time. You asked me at 5. That gave you like.
I know.
Yeah, well.
But it's me.
So?
I always been.
That's my thing. You have your things. Just because I stay up all night, that doesn't mean you get to stay up all night. I stay up late because I do my best work when it's quiet, and you're asleep, and I can just focus on what I'm doing. So no, 10 o'clock. That's it. Okay. Laying down the law.
I know. Sucks.
Stop staring at me.
But it's the way it has to be, okay?
Good.
There.
Anyway, yeah, so we were watching a bit of that, and it became like our reality TV for the day.
5 awesome studs, 5 awesome studs, 5 awesome studs.
I told her, I was saying, like, yeah, oh, by the way, all the vocals in that song are me.
Oh.
And she said, and I said, you got to understand, my ex was sitting on the couch on the other side of the living room when I was recording those vocal samples. So I'd just be sitting there and suddenly go, la 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 la. And then, it's just out of context. Those sounds all sound ridiculous, but when it's all mixed together into the mishmash, it just sounds like some kind of weird tribal thing. But
She's like, what the fuck is he doing?
Yeah.
Fucking weird. This is the guy you're dating, by the way.
Yes. So
He hasn't changed.
So I said, like, yeah.
No.
So she heard this and she's just trying so hard not to laugh. Like, I had given her a warning. I said, okay, just so you know, this is probably gonna sound really weird, but there's method to the madness. It's like, okay. So I started doing the sounds. And I look over and she's just like, like trying so hard not to just bust out laughing. But yeah.
Staying there for an hour.
I honestly don't know Crimson Cross. I don't recall hearing anything about regular show.
What? What do you mean?
But here's hoping.
How long did I keep-
Oh, regular
Stop making
'Cause-
throat noises.
Yeah, I'd like to see more of that. I've actually only seen a few episodes of it. I've seen the Laserdisc episode like 100 times, which I thought was just brilliant. And
you need to see more than just that episode.
but Laserdisc.
But laser disc.
But
Oh, so good.
but yeah, it's definitely what I'd like to see more of. Looking forward to season 2 of Tuca and Birdie. Yay! I'm so glad that show's coming back.
Yeah,
You guys haven't watched that one yet, have you?
No, we haven't.
Okay, yeah. You're in for a treat. It's good.
Still need to see it.
It's very good. It's very good. A lot of fun. Very, very likable characters. Very relatable in a lot of ways. Much like BoJack Horseman characters were.
BoJack was like shocking though in terms of like not just the quality but like the subject matters
Yeah.
and everything. Like
It went to some
you
pretty.
just don't see that in cartoons,
No.
let alone in television. Period.
It went into some pretty
Like-
dark territory, but
Yeah.
very poignant as well.
What?
It's just
Yep.
incredibly well written. And
Poignant.
great
You know the
job.
word poignant, don't you, Rosie?
Great job with the cast as well. It's fantastic
Yes.
cast. Will Arnett was just it put
And I love the little jokes here and there.
it really
and
put
the
Will
things.
Arnett on the map for me. Like, I hadn't really seen him in much prior to that, and I know he's famous comedic actor, but
Wait, Mark Hamill plays Skips? Oh my god.
there was so many layers to
Yeah.
his performance as BoJack. It was just such an amazing treat.
Yes. I agree.
I forgot what I was
And I
doing
love
now.
how I love
yeah.
how Judah. You remember? Judah
Oh yeah,
from
Diedrich
BoJack
Bader. It was Diedrich
Yes.
Bader.
Diedrich Bader. Do you know his full name?
No, oh, I don't remember.
It's- It's Judah Manaudog.
Like,
Literally, his full name is Judah Man Now Dog. There's all
Okay.
these little things like that in the naming and everything.
Yes.
Like they never actually mention the last name, so you just hear Judah. But when you look it up on IMDb, oh, his full name is Judah Man Now Dog.
Yes.
Juanette's dad owns Molson Canadian Beer.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Molson
I would
Canadian.
say he has made a name for himself as an actor, though. Like,
Yeah.
I'm sure that that's him being from a wealthy family, potentially, might have helped him get a start. But I'll tell you what.
I didn't actually know he was
Good actor.
Canadian. Yay,
most
Canada.
most good comedians and actors are from Canada.
We're
let's
pretty
be honest.
fucking funny up here, that's true. We're a funny bunch.
You're a
Like-
funny bunch.
And very polite. Except my upstairs neighbor. There's always someone. Always. an
Gotta
exception.
be someone.
Mhm.
Like Eric Bauza, who's also Canadian. He's does all the voices for practically everything now in
I've got a
cartoon.
pretty skin on
Uh-huh.
Never mind.
Excellent.
In the
So.
most recent TMNT show, he did the voice of Splinter.
Did he now? Interesting.
Yeah.
When we were watching Scooby-Doo while Incredibly Baked a few weeks ago, I mentioned the fact that Frank Welker, who did the voice of Fred, still does the voice of Fred in the new Scooby-Doo ones. That, he's literally been doing it since it began. I don't even know how old he is now. He must be really getting up there by now. But
Probably.
yeah,
Oh,
Frank
look it
Welker.
up.
And I was talking about how Frank Welker was basically the voice of my childhood because he was in like just everything. Like you look at his
He's
filmography.
75.
75. Okay, yeah. No, he must have been really young when he did Scooby Doo then, because that's like from the late 60s. It's crazy. So 50. He would have been like 20 something. He would have been in his 20s. Yeah. Wow. And he sounds exactly the same now. Like his voice just hasn't changed. He obviously
Which is impressive because, as you age, typically your voice changes.
It does, yeah.
Vocal cords.
It does,
Like that.
yeah. One is the jowls drop.
Yes.
But yeah, it's amazing. You look at his filmography and all the things he's done voices for. It just goes on for miles. It's so long, and it's like a who's who of famous cartoons from the past like 4 decades.
There's Super Friends, Jabberjaw, Dynamite,
Mm-hmm.
the Flintstones Comedy Show,
Yeah.
Tiny Toon Adventures,
Mm-hmm.
Mighty Mouse,
Yeah.
Tom and Jerry. I don't know who. Barney Bear on Tom and
Climbing
Jerry.
up a window.
Okay.
Captain Planet,
Mm-hmm.
Ghostbusters.
Yeah.
There's a big one.
He was Ray in the real Ghostbusters.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
I'm in the window.
He's in fucking everything. He
I
played
know.
various characters on The Simpsons,
Yeah.
Futurama,
Mm-hmm.
Animaniacs. He's in fucking everything.
He's in everything. Like you can't get away from him.
Are you fucking kidding me? He is the voice of the Martians in Mars Attacks.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. Ack, ack. That's Frank Welker, the voice of Fred from Scooby
Apparently
Doo.
that-
This is the closest I can
He also actually he's known for being able to do a wide variety of voices. He was a shit ton of characters on the Transformers, all of which sounded very distinctly different. And also animal noises. He does like animal noises and like creature
He also
sounds.
performed Spock's screams in Star Trek.
That one
Themes.
I knew. Yeah, that one I remember that. I was like, "Oh my god, Frank Welker." Now at the time, the only thing I knew Frank Welker from was Dungeons and Dragons, where he was the voice of Uni, the baby unicorn that they befriend. So he's just going, meh, meh. So I guess he just came in one day, did all those noises, and then they just used them over and over again for Uni. But Yeah, he's been in everything.
But the one thing he never had anything
He
to do with,
does.
of course, was Transformers.
Actually, Michael, now he does both. Back in the original series, up through the first few series, it was actually Don Messick did the voice of Scooby-Doo. But you can't, honestly, you can't tell. Like, he does a spot on perfect Scooby-Doo. Yeah. If you go back and look at the original credits, you can see it was actually Don Messick for quite a while until he either retired or passed away. And then Frank took over.
That's the problem with IMDb is that they typically just show you.
No, that's just it. You can't tell. Like, where's the transition? Yeah. They sound the same. You know, he just does it perfectly. He was some of the voices on the Smurfs. He did a few of the Smurfs characters. And he did, God, I mean, he did everything. I remember there's a great featurette on the Transformers Matrix set, the 25th anniversary set, where they have like a panel of a bunch of the voice actors, and Frank Welker is one of them. And he said when they had the auditions for Transformers, you know, he went in and just like, okay, you know, cartoon auditions, I'll just go in. And he said they had like little character profiles for the different characters, like the different Transformers. And they said, well, just go in and, you know, pick a character or two that you want to do. So Frank, you know, went in and he didn't see anybody else there. So he was just like, oh, okay, take this one and this one and this one and this one and this one. And he went in with like a handful of these character sheets, and he's like, okay, I've got some ideas for voices for all these. Like, okay. And I'm pretty sure he got all of them.
Yeah.
So of course,
makes sense.
As a voice actor, I mean, the more speaking roles you can get, the better, because that's money.
Yeah.
That's money in the bank, you know? So if you got the vocal chops to do a variety of voices, use them, you know? So it's pretty cool. Oh, Ray, oh, sorry, Ray, I didn't see you in the chat. You said, pretty funny, eh? I think she was talking about the thing, watching 5 Awesome Studs Survivor with you.
So this week I wrote, and it took a long fucking time to write, an article about 50 comedy movies you can watch in the public domain, right?
For free. And that you can find that on Stoud's movie site, cinnamon.com. That's MOAN.
Like fucking, I want to say 15 hours, but it might have taken me even longer.
Yeah.
It took a long time because I'm going through and I'm figuring out how and why this is actually in the public domain. I want to have actual fucking proof. Yeah. Even the website publicdomainmovies.net, which has a bunch of movies on it they purport to be public domain, does not provide information about all their movies, explaining how or why they're in the public domain. So some of them might not actually be... Publicdomainmovies.net might be providing movies that are not actually in the public domain. Put it that way. Like, that's what I'm trying to do here, is be a fucking reputable source.
Yes.
You know?
That's actually, yes, you're right, Michael. He was Dr. Claw. That's actually what, now that I recall, that is actually what prompted the discussion where I was telling her about all the stuff that Frank Welker's done. I was like, you know, the guy who does the voice of Dr. Claw was also the voice of Fred on Scooby-Doo. And she was like, what? Because they sound so different.
Next time, Gadget. I'll get you, Gadget.
Yeah. And I also mentioned that I don't know how he can keep that voice up for so long. But I do remember seeing back in the 80s, there was like some documentary about cartoons. I think it was about Marvel cartoons, actually. And they had a bit of, the recording sessions.
Thank you.
And one of them was, I knew it was Frank Welker, even though they didn't show him. You could just hear him. He's just like,
I need a lozenge.
It's like, no doubt. Yeah. But, we're big Inspector Gadget fans here, which is why I keep the set on standby. That's another one we've been watching while intoxicated. It's quite fun. We also just watch it to watch it because we're both incredibly nostalgic for it. It was one of Ray's favorite shows. as a young lass. Of course, I saw it when it originally aired. She saw it in syndicated repeats like 10 years later. But, you know, maybe 20 years later. I don't know. Later. But yeah, we love Inspector Gadget in this house.
I'm always shocked by what I learn when I'm doing this research for these movies, though.
Mm-hmm. For the public domain movies?
Yes. Because most of them, it's just like, well, they forgot to renew the copyright. They forgot to renew the copyright. They forgot to renew the copyright,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah.
But sometimes you come across random ones where it's like,
what?
They
It's after 10. It's set automatically. You knew what time it was.
They fucked up the copyright.
Sorry. It's 10:06.
Yep.
I'm surprised it lets you even get into a match because it was supposed to shut off at 10.
Already in the match.
Well, sorry. You knew how much time you had.
True. Should have been trying to get into a match after 10.
Yeah.
But some of them, it's like they are in the public domain because, like, the way they put the copyright notice or whatever on the fucking movie itself, they fucked it up. And, like, the second it was released, it was in the public domain because of
Oh,
that.
really? Yeah.
Fucking crazy shit.
There
like
was
that.
there was one like that. It's on one of my sci-fi sets. It's actually on a lot of those public domain sets called Slipstream, where it's actually a fairly big budget sci-fi movie. Like, you'll recognize a lot of the stars in it. Bill Paxton is the star of it, and there's a lot of other very recognizable faces. And you watch this movie and you're like, why is this on this set? This is like such a higher caliber movie than what we normally see there. And apparently that's what it was, is the copyright was not filed properly or something, or somebody forgot to do something, and it just, like, it didn't get distribution. I don't think it even got a theatrical release. It just kind of sat there and then languished for a bit, and then the copyright wasn't renewed, and boom. It was like almost instantly in the public domain as well, like for similar reasons. And it's actually a pretty decent movie. So if you check it out, I think it's had it might have had a standalone DVD release of some kind, but I'm not sure what it says. There's a bit of a behind the scenes. You can look it up on like Wikipedia or IMDb, I guess. And
the most interesting one I came across was Road to Bali.
Mm-hmm.
Are you familiar with that name, that movie? They did a long series of Road
I know
to,
the Road to
Rio,
movies.
Road to Bali.
There's a whole bunch of them. Yeah, it was.
Bing Crosby and Bob Hope.
That's it was. Yeah,
movies.
yeah. I knew it was like two of the.
So like they got these fucking huge fucking stars from the heyday of Hollywood, right?
Yeah.
Huge, well-known musician as well. There, Bing Crosby. This movie, the way they had it was like it has to be, the copyright has to be renewed within 28 years of it being released, right?
Yeah.
Being released.
Mm-hmm.
So apparently, what actually happened with this, I don't actually go into this amount of detail on the post, but I'll share it with you guys here.
Mm-hmm.
Is that I think it was made in 1953. It was released in 1953, but the movie was made in 1952.
Okay.
But when they did the copyright for it, they made the copyright for it from 1952 because it was made in 1952.
Okay.
But then the studio forgot that the copyright was listed in 1952, and they waited until 1981 to fucking
1 year too late.
Exactly.
It's like,
it's
sorry.
Such a stupid little thing. Like,
well, it's like what just
fucked up.
happened with Rose. It's like, I told you how much time you had.
Yeah, true.
So, sorry.
I'm back.
You're now in the public domain.
That was an Independence Day reference. Sorry.
No, that's okay. I love that scene.
Yeah, Randy Quaid is doing his scene. He's like, "Hello, boys, I'm back." And you're like, "Alrighty then."
It's unfortunate that he's gone batshit insane, but
Oh, I know.
Who?
Randy Quaid.
Oh, Randy Quaid. Yeah.
Fucking lost.
Like,
he does.
Didn't he get arrested a couple times for doing some pretty out there shit?
He's out there doing drugs.
Randy Quaid now has a YouTube channel that he's been doing for a few years now.
Oh boy!
And what all of them are just weird, incoherent rants of him, like with the camera right up to his face, looking kind of crazy into it with his big beard and crazy eyes, and he has like freaking lava lamp lighting all over him and
sometimes
in the room
in the background.
And yeah, that's what he does, like these little 3 to 5 minute rants and
theories and
so yeah,
conservative politics and shit. It's like
crazy shit.
It's not the conservative politics necessarily that I think
it's
makes
very
it
conservative It's the really extreme stuff.
It's that like he's doing shit that literally is getting him arrested and shit like that. That's what I'm talking about. Like
like
he's getting in
extremist.
trouble with the law. That's how
bad
he's going. You know,
he's done a lot of crack.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a hell of a
allegedly.
Drug. Yeah. But
yeah, it's cocaine.
It's it's way worse. But yeah, it's really unfortunate because he was such a great funny actor and just
I'm petting the kid.
You know, in the 90s, if you had asked me like one of these two people is going to go crazy sometime in like the 2010s.
Completely off the rails.
Right? Do you think it's going to be Tom Arnold or Randy Quaid? I probably would have had a more difficult time answering that.
I think Tom, at the time, if you'd asked me that in the 90s, I would say Tom Arnold because his life was a fucking mess back then.
Yeah.
And he'll even say it to himself.
I don't think he was in Heartbeeps. That was Andy Kaufman and Bernadette Peters.
Yes.
I haven't seen Heartbeeps in like 30 years.
I bought the Blu-ray. I meant to watch it instantly when I received it, but I haven't watched it yet. But at least I have it.
Go.
As soon as I found out it was on Blu-ray, I was like, boom, find the money, buy the Blu-ray. It will be mine. Childhood favorite. I'm
So
on
anyways,
the wrong page here. Yes, I'll do the news in just a second here. Now I need to find out if Randy Quaid was in Heartbeeps, and I'm just not remembering. Heartbeeps.
I think Randy Quaid did his best work when he was doing like a character who played off of another character. So like National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation, he's fucking
Oh, he's
or
so
all
good
National
in that,
Lampoon's movies. Honestly, he's very good in those movies.
Yeah. Oh wait a minute! Wait a minute!
Major League
Wait!
Two,
Wait! He is in Heartbeeps. He plays Charlie. I don't know who that is in the movie, but he's in it.
I believe he's also in a movie, one of his earliest roles, perhaps, called The Last Detail, which is a Jack Nicholson vehicle from the 70s.
Mm-hmm.
It's a very good movie. It's kind of, it's definitely new Hollywood. I put it that way, right? People talk about it as a comedy, and I remember watching it and thinking, there's not much really comedic here. It's more kind of sad almost, but it's a really, really good movie about what it's like to be put into wartime situations and be turned into a soldier or whatever, So, yeah,
interesting.
I recommend seeing The Last Detail if you ever get the chance. I don't know.
I've seen that cover.
Wait, Indicator has a release of it.
Twilight Time previously released it.
The Last Detail, there it is. And the first movie he was in was The Last Picture Show from 1971.
Yeah. He really got his start in the fucking
New Hollywood.
In the New Hollywood,
yeah.
With Jack Nicholson.
Yeah, with One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest.
And the other one.
Oh, the crime one. China something.
That's not it. No. I'm gonna go look it up now.
We're still talking about Randy Quaid, right?
No, we're talking about Jack Nicholson now. Try to keep up, Stout.
Well, what I was saying is that Randy Quaid is, I believe he's in The Last Detail.
Okay, there is no X in Jack Nicholson. There we go. Jack Nicholson.
Five Easy Pieces. That's the movie. 5 Easy Pieces.
Chinatown. That's the one I was thinking of. Which is also New Hollywood. But
is it?
Yeah.
I'm not sure, but
it's 1974.
No,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
regardless, 5 Easy Pieces is a new Hollywood film. I was trying to remember.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
5 Easy Pieces is great, by the way. It's got at least a few really memorable scenes in it. That
Oh, and he's also in
for
Drive,
nothing
he
else,
said.
you
Another
gotta
new
see
Hollywood
this.
film,
Which one?
which I have. Drive, he said, from 1971.
Oh, okay.
It's part of the new Hollywood set from
The-
Criterion.
The earliest film I saw him in was the original Little Shop of Horrors, where he plays the
Oh, yeah.
patient who comes in to see the sadistic dentist. And
Yeah, right here.
It's a small but memorable role. He's very funny in that. And then the next earliest thing is The Raven from 1963, which is that one I'm always raving about. Raving about The Raven, which is the one with Boris Karloff, Vincent Price, Peter Lorre, and Jack Nicholson. And it's kind of a tongue-in-cheek. It's a comedy. It's a comedy horror. It's very good. It's also very funny. And Jack Nicholson, very strapping young Jack Nicholson, is in that one. So.
If you want to see Randy Quaid in a movie where he's a little bit less of a comedian or comedy role, The Last Detail.
The Last Detail. There you go.
It's the first and only example I can think of seeing him, and he's not doing a comedy role. So,
Okay.
it's interesting. I would say, honestly, Jack Nicholson did all of his best work in the 70s, but he had some really standout roles in the 80s and 90s as well.
Like As Good as It Gets, that one we're always talking about. Such a great
And
movie.
Batman, Joker.
And Batman,
Joker and
yeah,
Batman, that was
yeah.
very good.
I've heard of that movie.
You have.
And he was the president in Mars Attacks. See, it all comes back to Frank
That's
Welker. We
5
learned today,
degrees of Frank
Skinslip,
Welker.
we had a big discussion about Frank Welker earlier, that Frank Welker was the voice of all the Martians in Mars Attacks.
Oh, wow. Well, I mean,
Yeah.
that's awesome.
Yeah.
I love that movie. I saw that in theaters, actually.
Did
Yeah.
you? Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Ag.
I mean, it was a cheap theater, but I still saw it.
That's okay. Hey, theater's a theater.
I remember seeing it in the cheap theater too. I think it was the second time I saw it though. But yeah,
I saw
very good.
the Inspector Gadget live-action film with Matthew Broderick as Inspector Gadget in a cheap theater.
Yeah, you paid too much money.
And the sign outside was, typewritten by the manager of the restaurant of the theater, and Inspector Gadget. Inspector Gadget battles the evil Dr. Clay.
Great.
We're just like, really?
Perfect.
And then, so we buy our tickets, and the woman there takes our money and gives us our tickets. Okay, enjoy your show. And we go in, and the same woman comes out and it's like, "Can I see your tickets, please?" Like, what? She was like literally acting like she was two different people.
It to it.
So we were just picturing this, like, now we're going to go to the concession stand and we'll just hear all this stumbling, crashing, and banging. And she was like, "Hi, what would you like for snacks?"
It was like a fucking Looney Tunes.
One-man show, or one-woman show in that case. But it was so funny the way she sternly asked to see our tickets. It's like, you literally just sold them to us 2 minutes ago.
Also, this is a dollar theater. What the fuck?
I know. It's like, let me see if I
That's
got
how I
a
saw
buck
Batman
here,
Forever, by the way. I saw Batman Forever in a dollar theater.
Oh. I saw that in real theaters. But
I remember it came out like April or May that year.
it was different,
And then
yeah.
in August, it was by August it was in the dollar theater.
Okay, yeah. See, the first two were June releases, so it was like right at the peak of summer season for movies, and they were both released on almost the same date, I think. I mean, the first one, I think, June 23rd, 1989, and I think the second one was like June 23rd, 1992, or pretty damn close to that anyway. It's almost the exact same release date. I remember noticing that at the time, because I was a big nerd. Was, past tense. Right.
We're laughing.
Even bigger nerd now. We're laughing. We are laughing. Okay.
That was also the summer of Kiss from a Rose. I see it. Being on the radio all the time.
I watched Who Killed Captain Alex.
So
Jason Rose is in the score of that constantly.
The what?
Jason Rose is in the movie Who Killed Captain Alex, which is a Ugandan action film.
Oh.
But it's played on a children's Casio piano.
Oh, okay.
Like, I'm constantly in the loop. I was fucking howling every time it started playing.
Okay, so just before we get into the news here, we have a bit of a birthday shout-out because DJ, who is Raptor Rivera's nephew, turns 9 today. And we'd like to wish DJ a very happy birthday. Apparently he likes SNI and thinks it's really cool that his uncle does the news for us. So happy birthday, DJ. Have a good one, dude.
Happy birthday, DJ.
All right. Excellent. Your uncle does very good. Awesome. Your uncle is awesome. He does very good work for us with the news, and we really appreciate everything he does. So
I hope one day he will join us on a more frequent basis.
I hope so, too.
Yeah.
Well, I think once we switch to Zoom, it'll probably be a lot easier for people to jump in, kind of like the good old days. And we'll have to just look at all our boring faces for the whole time. Get some more people in here. All right, here we go. So trailers. Trailers. We got the official trailer for Venom, Let There Be Carnage. Following the events of the first film, Eddie Brock and Venom are the regular odd couple, but they're about to be joined by serial killer Cletus Kasady and his new best friend, the symbiote known as Carnage. Starring Tom Hardy, Woody Harrelson, and directed by the master of mocap, Andy Serkis. I didn't know he directed it. That's awesome. The film will hit theaters September 24th. Actually, I really got to see the first one.
Guess who plays Carnage?
Woody Harrelson. They literally just said that in the news item.
Cletus Kasady is his name.
Kasady. I always pronounce it Kasady.
You know,
Kasady.
The only reason I know it's how it said that way, it's the Fox cartoon.
When I heard that
Is
he
it?
played that character,
Yeah, Cletus Kasady.
Oh, okay.
That's the only reason I know it's said that way.
See, because I think of Cassidy, I think the way Cassidy spells it. Cass, Cass and Cassidy. I see it with another A, and I want to say it like a
right.
But it's
Yeah, I get it. It makes sense.
It's just weird.
It's just
We'll see how they pronounce it in this.
Sake.
And then to
so
interrupt Stout some more.
When I heard that Woody Harrelson played that character, I was like, really? It didn't seem fitting to me at all, right?
Yeah, but then you saw the trailer, right?
Then I actually watched the movie. It was like, oh, yeah.
I was talking. I think if you go back and look at the Discord when they announced that he might be doing that, or he'd be doing that, I'm pretty sure I said that's perfect casting. Cause I'm a big fan of Carnage and the classic character. Like that's like if I were casting a '90s movie, I'd fucking cast Woody Harrelson. So
yeah.
I would cast him now too because he's still basically 38 years old. He hasn't aged a day.
I know.
Somehow,
no idea.
The other one I could see. The other one I could see doing it would be Jackie Earl Haley, who I think would be. Really
I also
good.
think what's his face from 28 Days Later? He could do it.
Oh, Cillian Murphy.
Yes, and he did the long thin face. It's about the long thin face and the good acting. All three of those would be great casting.
That was one of my big disappointments with the Nolanverse Batman trilogy. I really wanted to see more of Cillian Murphy's Scarecrow.
This is a side character for the whole trilogy.
I know, and it made me sad. I thought they were going to lead up to him being more prominent in one of the sequels, but no,
they
never did.
Asylum, you can do so much with that character.
Right?
And in film, you can do anything.
Exactly. Like,
you can do the weirdest Batman.
I love how in the games we basically got to see what Batman was seeing under the influence of the fear toxin and having to go on that just mind-melting trip with him.
I fucking hate doing the Scarecrow missions. They're a pain in my ass. But
they are, but they're cool.
I feel like dealing with Scarecrow would be very similarly a pain in the ass. So
yeah,
I'm alright.
Exactly. See, it fits.
I'm okay with it.
So anyway, I love Woody Harrelson anyway, just as an actor. I think he's awesome.
Yes. He's very good.
He can do comedy. He can do drama. He can
He's got really good range.
He can do dramedy. Don't forget dramedy. Very
well, hold on. He can do scary psycho. If you've ever seen Natural Born Killers, he is freaking scary in that movie.
Yep.
I feel we're getting a bit of that in Carnage.
Oh yeah, big time.
I mean, that's what I say when I said when the 90s people to cast him, because that's the reason why.
Yeah.
That feels like Cletus Cassidy is so clearly derivative of Mickey and Mallory.
That type
Mickey
of,
and Mallory.
Yeah. Like that type of thing.
Casting Woody Harrelson's like a no-brainer in my opinion.
Yeah. No, I thought that was the first thing that sprung to my mind too when I heard it was Woody Harrelson. I was like, they got Woody Harrelson? Yeah, I could see that. That's yeah, definitely. And the first thing I thought of was Mickey. I was just like, yep, definitely.
Yeah. He's an amazing actor. I'm pretty sure he's won an Oscar for acting.
Well, if he hasn't,
he's been nominated a few times.
He should,
I mean,
I don't feel like watching No Country for Old Men again now.
I know, I haven't seen it.
Now I feel like watching Natural Born Killers again. I haven't seen that in a while.
Yeah,
actually, that too. I haven't seen that in a long time either. I got both of those on Blu-ray already.
Yeah.
Take that, streaming.
Do I have No Country? Yeah, I do have I have No Country for Old Men too. I haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you opened it in a package.
I did. Yeah, it was in a package opening. Okay, official trailer for the 5th and final film in the Purge franchise, The Forever Purge.
Ooh.
Following the events of the Purge election year, a Mexican couple escaping from a drug cartel is stranded on a Texas ranch. There, they will be at the mercy of a group of outsiders who plan to unlawfully continue their own purge and turn against the couple to eliminate them. Produced and co-written by James DeMonico, the creator of the series and director of the first 3 films. Very nice.
I mean,
speaking of derivative, by the way, the Purge originally is from the most dangerous game.
Yeah, it's like taking that idea and amplifying it.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah. Actually,
in this case, it's definitely having some pretty strong social commentary about some of the shit that has been
election year
in life.
Yeah,
election year,
big time,
rife with political commentary.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
Well, the whole thing is social commentary, and that's one of the reasons I like the Purge movies so much, is because it's
them trash horror films from this deviants.
Yeah.
So.
That was another thing we talked about in the pre-show, was that New York Post article. So check out the pre-show for our comments about that. We went pretty in depth.
Or don't be left out of the loop like
right.
loser.
That's right. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that. I still need to see the TV series. I should actually just pick up the Blu-ray. I watched a little bit of the first episode, and already I was liking it. I just drifted away and didn't get back to it. So I'll check it out at some point. I think it's only 1 season too. So.
Hey, Skeleton Boner, nice. Long time to see, buddy.
Let's see. Hey, Skeleton Boner's here. Awesome. How's it going?
Yeah,
dude?
Long time to see, buddy.
Good to see you.
Hope you're well.
Hope all is well in the land of skeletal boners.
I don't usually do call-outs, but he's a long-time viewer.
Well, yeah, absolutely. I always like to say hey to the ones we haven't seen for a while, especially because...
Miss Krulatin, where are you, buddy?
I know. Krulatin, hope you're okay, buddy. Hope you're okay. It's been... a month. It's been 1 month and a day since the last contact we had with Krulatin, which was a post in Shitpost on April 14th.
He said in chat, actually, he was saying he was having a rough time.
Yes.
And here in Twitch chat.
Yeah, so. there was some real life stuff going on that was making things difficult. So we wish you all the best, buddy, wherever you are. We love you and we miss you. So, yeah, I remember seeing a thing about the Forever Purge where somebody tweeted about it. It's like, this is ridiculous. This is like a franchise shooting itself in the face. And it's like, this totally goes against the whole concept of what the Purge movies are supposed to be. I mean, it's supposed to be... Yeah. And then the whole rambling comment just went on for a bit. And it's like, you don't even understand your own franchise. It's this guy going off. And the person who... posted the screen cap of that said, you're literally reviewing the title. Everything you just said isn't even what the movie is about. I mean, if you watch the trailer, it's clear that that's not what it's about. It's like, oh, just Purge forever, whatever. No, it's a small group of psychos who decide to keep it going.
I could agree that title is kind of lame and it's not a very strong title, but
a little misleading.
Whatever.
I guess,
not very inventive, no.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever. Yeah.
At this point in the fucking franchise, it's like this is the point where they come up with cheesy fucking titles.
That's right.
Where else can you go?
Well, the previous one was the prequel, the first Purge, which was great, by the way. And then this is the Forever Purge. We had the first Purge, the Forever Purge. You know, I don't know.
I mean, if this motherfucker is a fan at all of any of the fucking Fast and Furious movies, and he's going to try and tell you that Too Fast, Too Furious is a better fucking title than the Forever Purge. Fuck off.
Hey, off. No, he's not bad.
I'm not saying
he's not saying the movie. He's talking about the title.
Just talking about the title. Point that out.
All right.
It's definitely the low point of the series, but it's not bad.
All right.
It's just the worst of the 8, 9, 12 movies, whatever we're at right now.
When they got the movie series going on, then you know,
and there's spin-offs. There's spin-offs.
About halfway through the fucking series, always there's some fucking cheesy ass titles.
There's there's the Hobbs and Shaw spin-offs, and yeah. Anyway, carrying on. Official trailer for the Apple TV Plus miniseries Lizzie's Story, or Lizzie's Story, maybe. I don't know. Premiering June 4th. Based off the novel by Stephen King, a deeply personal, pensive thriller that follows Lizzie Landon, played by Julianne Moore, 2 years after the death of her husband, famous novelist Scott Landon, played by Clive Owen. A series of unsettling events cause Lizzie to face memories of her marriage to Scott that she has deliberately blocked out of her mind. The series is also written by Stephen King. Ooh.
Is that inspired by Michael Landon?
That actually sounds very... What?
Oh, because he was famously a wife abuser. So.
Michael Landon?
Fucking heaven. What's his face? The one the people at the Angel and shit. That show.
That's news to me. I mean, as far as I've ever heard, he was a saint.
I heard about this in the '90s. So
on and off the screen. I don't know.
It's a real fuzzy memory. Allegedly,
I never heard a bad word spoken about Michael Landon.
I'm like, is that Michael Landon?
Maybe someone else on the cast was a wife beater, maybe, but
I don't know.
I'm pretty sure he was a good guy.
A real fuzzy memory. Okay. I'm gonna be honest with you, okay?
All right, pretty sure.
I'm telling you
you
right
will
now.
not besmirch the good name of Michael Landon and his amazing mane of hair, which I hope to emulate one day.
Don't worry, she'll look it up and determine she was right. It's okay.
Probably. And you forever ruined Michael Landon for me.
Yes.
Official trailer for the documentary The Sparks Brothers, directed by Edgar Wright. The film will explore the lives and careers of musicians Ron and Russell Mael, the creators of the pop and rock band Sparks. Interesting. It's kind of a biographical thing by Edgar Wright. So
I'm mixing it up. Michael Landon suffered an abusive childhood. That's what happened.
Yeah. See,
hey, look, I knew it was something in my brain.
Something abusive somewhere in the chain. So that's there. You go. Okay, good. Thank God. You had me legitimately worried there because I've always thought
worried too.
I was like, what? Michael Landon? No.
Hold that a fucking
no.
That is a harsh indictment of the fucking the Hollywood system as it is, though, right? Because it's like
just that we would even
you can believe that just about
for a
everybody
second.
could have done shit like that.
I know.
It's just like,
well, I mean, on the plus side, I'm really glad that all of this corruption and abuse of power and just abuse is finally coming out into the open after being, allowed to carry on for far, far too long.
Now we have a social platform where we can anonymously get out abusers, and so
exactly,
and then other people can go like, no, that was me too, and then and then all it takes is like one reputable people like, yeah, that person was a piece of shit to me. And you're like, oh shit, it's all real.
So just instead of systematic abuse traumatizing people, we will have systematic accountability for abusers being called out and publicly shamed.
Cancel culture, aka consequence culture, baby.
Yeah, exactly. It's not, cancel culture. It's like, that's cancel culture the way it should be, is calling out shitty people for being shitty people.
Yeah, well, go broke.
It's not about political beliefs. It's about not being a shitty human being.
Exactly. So, exactly.
Anyway, So official trailer for the Netflix original film Wish Dragon, premiering June 11th. Determined teen Din is longing to reconnect with his childhood best friend when he meets a wish-granting dragon who shows him the magic of possibilities. Starring John Cho as the voice of Long the Wish Dragon. Oh, very nice. Raptor's recommendation, this seems like the perfect Sean, Ray, and Rosie film. Oh, well, okay.
It looks pretty fun. Not gonna lie, I mean, this will probably...
Well, I mean, Rosie's there for anything dragons, you know, so... we got the official teaser trailer for the HBO Max special Friends, The Reunion. Oh, I didn't know they were doing a reunion special. Premiering May 27th. After 17...
watching it.
Yeah, I'd like to watch that, actually. I actually really enjoyed Friends. I don't care.
Every fucking episode 5 or 6 times. I
care
might as
who
well
knows
finish
it.
off the series.
There you go. So after 17 years, Rachel, Phoebe, Chandler, Monica, Ross, and Joey return for one last hurrah. So it's got all of them. That's awesome. That's great.
Yep.
I would definitely like to
You
see
know, the
that.
one person who didn't come in, they'd be like, oh, well, I guess they died.
Yeah, that's right.
Sucks to be you.
Official trailer for the Prime Video series Solos, premiering May 21st. In this sci-fi anthology series are 7 unique character-driven stories.
Oh.
Each character will set off on a thrilling adventure in an uncertain future, and they'll come to reckon that even during our most isolated moments, we are all connected through the human experience.
The cats are taking over.
Starring Morgan Freeman, Anne Hathaway, Helen Mirren, and others. Oh, wow, all-star cast on that one. Nice. Might have to check that out. I mean, you had me at sci-fi
now.
You had me at sci-fi anthology series.
Cats and I.
What?
Cats and I right now. So S&I to Cats and I.
We're
So we got 2 cats.
paying the cat tax.
I don't have a cat.
It's okay. We have cats.
I have a
We're
shot
paying it
glass.
for you.
We'll pretend this is
We're
the
paying
skull of a
cat
cat
tax for you.
from which I drink my booze.
Oh my god.
Terrible.
Official trailer for the Netflix original documentary Nail Bomber Manhunt, premiering May 26th. This documentary tells the story of the 1999 London bombings that targeted minority communities and the race to find the far-right extremist behind them. There you go. Official trailer for the crime drama Stillwater. A father travels from Oklahoma to France to help his daughter, who has been arrested for murder. Starring Matt Damon and Abigail Breslin in the leading roles, and directed by Tom McCarthy, who previously co-wrote Pixar's Up from 2009 and helmed 2015's Spotlight, which went on to win an Academy Award for Best Picture. Very nice.
I'm sorry, you pronounced it wrong. It's Matt Damon. Sorry,
my mistake. I sit corrected. Official trailer for the Netflix original anime series Eden, premiering May 27th. Thousands of years in the future, a city known as Eden is inhabited solely by artificially intelligent robots whose former masters vanished long ago. On a routine assignment within the depths of the city, 2 maintenance robots accidentally awaken a human baby girl from stasis, questioning their belief that humans were a forbidden ancient myth. Together, the 2 robots secretly raise the child in a safe haven outside Eden. Ooh, that actually sounds interesting. I have to check that out. Oh, I watched this trailer. Oh, this looks so good. Official trailer for the A24 film, The Green Knight. A fantasy adventure based on the Arthurian legend, Sir Gawain and the Green Knight. The film tells the story of Sir Gawain, King Arthur's headstrong nephew, who embarks on a quest to confront the eponymous knight, a gigantic green-skinned stranger. Starring Dev Patel, Alicia Vikander, and Joel Edgerton, directed by David Lowery, who's previously directed the live-action adaptation of Pete's Dragon from 2016 and 2017's A Ghost Story. Yeah, I watched the trailer for that. It looks really good.
I'm interested.
Like dark fantasy, and it's from A24, so there you go.
Well, like A24, it's a fantasy film. We don't get a lot of good fantasy films, so
Yeah.
I'm hoping.
It looks good.
Yeah,
Che-
24.
Definitely check out the trailer when you get a chance, if you haven't already. And that's it for trailer news this week. In movie and TV news, the casting for Rian Johnson's Knives Out 2 is underway, with 4 huge leads. Dave Bautista, Edward Norton, Janelle Monáe, and Catherine Hahn. I really need new glasses, can you tell?
Pandemic, damn it.
Yeah. As previously reported, Knives Out 2 and 3 were sold to Netflix and will premiere on the streaming service in 2022 and 2023, respectively. Nice. We don't even have to leave our homes to watch them. I still need to watch the first one. I've heard it was great.
I may never leave again.
Speaking of Netflix, the first images of the upcoming sequel series, Masters of the Universe Revelations, went live this week. Some of the images depict He-Man with a sword drawn, a young Prince Adam, Battle Cat, and He-Man face-to-face with Skeletor, which will be voiced by Mark Hamill, incidentally.
Hey, Skeletor.
The series will air in 2 parts, with part 1 containing 5 episodes, premiering July 23rd. As previously reported, the showrunner for the series is filmmaker Kevin Smith. I'd just like to say... sorry, go ahead.
Did you see the pictures for this?
Yes. It looks amazing.
Okay. I just wanted to... That's all I wanted to ask.
Oh, yeah.
What are your thoughts now?
But there's the stupidest shit takes going on the internet about this. And you've probably seen some of this. Now, we had the reboot of She-Ra a few years ago, and it was extremely well received. It was this beautiful story. They added like a lot of LGBTQ representation in it in terms of some of the relationships of the characters and such, which was great. It was wonderful. It was a really good reimagining of it. I kind of put it akin...
She-Ra is so good.
I kind of put it akin to how Gem was reimagined in the IDW comics, and they factored in a lot of representation there as well, which fit in perfectly. It was great.
My favorite part is it's lesbian. It's a lesbian show because even the logo is a lesbian pride flag. You know what I mean?
Like the colors?
No, it really is. It was intended to be that without being explicit in any way. You know? So why it can't be.
So the I don't even know specifically what the complaints are, but from what I gleaned on Twitter the other day when I saw that She-Ra was trending with the day the He-Man pictures came out, I was like, what the hell? Okay, let's check this out. It was fans of the She-Ra series getting all bent out of shape that the He-Man series isn't being done in the same style and isn't a part of that universe or what have you. And it's like, well, it's just different. Like, why can't we have 2 different things? Like, why does it all have to be the same? I mean, that worked for She-Ra. That was a reinvention with modern sensibilities and stuff like that, and that's fine. This is just being done as a straight-up action-adventure fantasy thing that ties into the old series.
My favorite hot take...
Why is that bad?
My favorite hot take was someone shared a photo, and he's like, was He-Man always this homophobic? And literally, this guy got ratioed by like 500 replies of yep, and then like a million gay gifs, including, random moments in the show where like they're like battling each other, but if you put it in the right way, it looks like a fucking and shit. They do all sorts of looping gifs and stuff.
Wait,
like, they roasted this guy.
Was it homophobic or homoerotic?
It's like, has it always been this homoerotic?
Okay, that's what it said.
I'm like, yes, it's always been this homoerotic. Yes.
Well, there's that GIF that I've always liked. Well, there's a few of them, actually, where Skeletor is, like, screaming to the heavens, ah! And the joke was, why does it always look like Skeletor is jerking off 2 invisible dicks? And you look at the GIF, and he's like, ah!
And you watch the show every time, he's like, oh my god, he really is jerking
off
I know. Fucking dicks.
Ever since seeing that, I can't not see it that way anymore. It's like,
I love that show. It's, I think it's beautiful.
Anyway.
I love She-Ra, I love He-Man, I would love to have seen like a gay focused He-Man show to counter the She-Ra show. I think that'd be really nice.
Maybe that's what their complaint was.
Right.
Why are they doing
but
that?
I don't think that's bad for this. I think
allow me to interject to say, Michael, I know what you're thinking of doing, and don't stop it right now.
What happened?
Oh, okay. Maybe you went there.
I have no idea what he's talking about. I'm sorry, Michael. I am not related to this man in any way. This man is a disappointment currently, and I apologize.
What? What
did I do?
I called you a disappointment. That was pretty. I don't. That it happened. It just happened.
What do I have an appointment for?
A disappointment, and it's like a disappointment, but it's this man.
I see.
Oh, what a disappointment. Okay.
So can I call you a trans appointment?
No.
Well, then don't call me a cis appointment. Thank you very much.
Not quite the same thing. They're not exactly equitable.
I know,
Are
but
you
there is a
really
way to
confused,
say
Michael?
things.
And I don't call you a cis point, obviously.
I know,
silly.
obviously.
Okay, so let me make it clear.
No derogatoriness
Michael,
of either
Cis is
side.
not derogatory.
Well, I consider it
We all
derogatory
know
when it's
that
used
it's
in
not.
certain
I don't consider it
contexts.
derogatory.
Cis is not derogatory.
I know it's just a description of like straight sexuality. I get that, but I do see it used
Not
in ways that are
sexuality.
potentially offensive sometimes.
It's not straight sexuality. It's people with the mind that matches the body, basically, essentially.
Oh yeah,
So they're
that's-
not trans.
Yeah,
That's
yeah, got it.
just the opposite of trans. That's all it is.
Got it.
That's it.
So, we all know that Sir Michael the Collector on Discord, likes to take images of us from this particular show and, make things out of them.
Oh,
So what I was referencing is what you were just doing and saying, don't even think about it, Michael. Don't make that fucking image.
oh yeah, don't.
Don't curse the internet with that fucking image.
No.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Kitty.
So he may not have been thinking about that, but now you made such a big deal about it, he can't stop thinking about it now. It's all your fault, Stoud. It's all Stoud's fault.
I had to say something and defend my goddamn honor as a cis person.
What fucking honor? Sorry.
What does that even have to do? That is not even anything to
It
do
had
with
nothing
anything.
to do with it.
Like,
I called him a cis
you
appointment
got it
for
even
his
more
bad
wrong than
opinion.
I did, Stoud. Jeez.
I called him a cis appointment for his
Well,
opinion.
the
of being a
difference is I didn't
dude.
care. I didn't
Yeah.
take offense to it.
That's true. When I say all men suck, I don't mean the people here, obviously. I mean, literally every other man I've ever encountered.
I see.
I don't know what it is. It's so terrible.
Well, men
There's just
do,
so many bad
generally
men. It sucks.
speaking, suck. But,
Well, there's just so many bad men, and it's just unfortunate.
I tried.
It's like, fuck.
I think what it is for me is I don't like generalizations. I feel like sometimes cis is used as a generalization of like a type of mentality that goes with a particular type of man. You know what I'm trying.
No.
Do you know what I'm trying to say?
That's a lot of rhetoric from the other side that's bringing that up.
What is the other side?
Not what I'm saying. But I'm saying it's like it's not important. That's what I'm saying. Let's just move on.
Okay.
Cis is not an insult. I say, oh, a cis man. I'm being facetious. Okay.
Okay.
I'm usually saying it because, of course, it's a cis man. Most things are created by cis men in this world.
Yes.
So obviously, if I like, oh, a cis man, like, well, no shit. The fucking odds of it being a cis man versus anybody else is pretty fucking slim.
Yes.
Of anything.
Okay.
Because it's a fucking dominated world. Anyway, that's what I mean by that joke. You're
Okay
good.
then.
I'm not referring to you. You've never been a bad person.
I try not to be. Hey fuckers, who's your favorite serial killer? I don't know.
Ooh, Ed Kemper, because he's not really a serial killer. He's the guy who got the claim about all the other kills from other.
Was he the one?
He did kill some people.
Was he
He
the?
killed people,
Wait a
but he
minute.
wasn't. He claimed a lot of deaths.
He was the
that weren't
confession
real.
killer, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Ed
still haven't
Kemper,
watched
baby.
that one.
Also, I
Isn't that
just
Kemper.
look.
I think Kemper was the one from Mindhunter.
Yeah.
The one who
same
did
guy.
all those fucking.
that the same guy?
the audio
He helped
books
them.
and
He helped them understand serial killers. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think that's the same guy, but
Yeah.
maybe I'm wrong. I don't know.
Anyway, Ed Kemper's awesome because he's like not because he killed people, because he's like just extremely charismatic and just
Yeah.
honestly, I'm just when he talks, I'm just like, okay, I'm listening.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck?
Ted Bundy is like that as well. Have you watched the Ted Bundy ones yet?
Not yet.
Not yet. Okay, but he's very much like that as well. Except he's both charismatic and a good-looking guy. So he has like
And
the
terrifying somehow.
Well, yeah,
It's
he has the physical attractiveness, but he also has the charisma and the personality, and he just kind of engages you, and you get you're laughing at his jokes and just like, hey, blah blah blah. But he's freaking terrifying.
Yeah.
You see that dark side when it comes out, the beast within, as it were. It's scary. Like there was like two sides of him almost.
like, oh yeah, they're really good at asking their.
And it was like, there's the
The
public
confession
persona.
killer is somebody different.
Even when he's like representing himself at his trial. He's like joking
He's
and
a co-ed
laughing.
killer. Thank you.
He's like joking and laughing with everybody in the courtroom, and they're all laughing at his jokes and stuff. It's like he fucking killed a bunch of people like really brutally. Yeah. Like this guy is not someone to admire or respect or be friends with. But
right. Thank you. Emperor is a co-ed killer, not the confession killer.
But
Gacy's pretty scary too.
Jack the Ripper, of course.
Look, I look at photos of Gacy and I'm like, you think that's hot? Oh, I mean,
John Wayne Gacy.
Go for it, I guess.
The clown killer.
Fuck.
Yeah. But
you couldn't get me alone in a room with fucking Gacy, paint or no paint. Fuck that. He was creepy.
Yeah.
Jesus.
The epitome of the creepy clown. Hello.
1000%.
I prefer the. I subscribe to the belief that the
Jack the Ripper,
the real Jack the Ripper was the guy who ended up moving to the United States, and mysteriously, miraculously, all the killing stopped right when he
here waving my arms like an idiot. Come here.
And they didn't track any of the fucking murders that were happening in the United States at the time, so I bet you anything he just continued murdering here when he moved here.
The thing about Gacy is everything about Gacy's face paint is like the opposite of what you want to do when you're a clown. The way he accentuates everything is all in the negative. It's literally his paint is to unnerve you, not even to entertain you like a traditional clown. So, like, fucking, if you trusted that guy, why? How? He looked creepy without the paint.
Love you.
Well, nobody knows who the Zodiac is.
I love the Zodiac Killer movie.
I like the Zodiac Killer movie. You like the Zodiac. I like the Zodiac Killer movie, which is a different movie.
Yeah. Are you talking about the one that the guy made to try to catch the Zodiac?
Yeah. It's one of my favorites.
I want to see that.
Love it.
I want to see that one.
On Blu-ray.
The
Beautiful
story behind the story is almost more interesting.
There's an interview with the guy on there.
Is there?
And there's a booklet too. I mean, like, it's worth.
Is that a Vinegar Syndrome one?
It's AGFA, so like $20.
It's AGFA. Okay.
Yeah.
So it's
I have no idea if they're available in Canada because it's the American Genre Film Archive. So.
Well, that's. I
have no idea.
That's easy. That's easy enough to import. That's not a problem.
Yeah.
I get stuff
they're very
UK
very
all
available
the time,
on Amazon. I highly recommend all of the releases. I've owned all of them. They only release like 1 or 2 titles a month, so they're easy to keep up with. But I've just been slowly buying one at a time, so I'm constantly behind. But eventually I'll get them all.
Someday we'll find out that Yungo Piate is a serial killer, and that's why he asked us about our
Okay, here's a serial killer I'm fascinated. Oh, by the way, the cat's name is Sherlock Cat. Her name is Sherlock Cat. That's her actual name. My favorite serial killer is the supposed Man from the Train. It's this new book that came out not long ago about the axe murderers of Basilica, right? That one. That's some guy looked at. There's like 24 reports of axe murders that are similarly done, where they killed the whole family with axes and shit. Okay, that's been done, and then the guy who plotted the dates shows it's fucking on a train route. So this guy literally got in a train, got off, went to someone's house under their like, hey, can I stay at your house? You know, that kind of thing. Fucking murders people. Got in the train the next day and fucking left to do the next thing. Couple weeks, like a week later. No fucking shit. This book is. I was like, what? That just blew my fucking mind. That is an incredibly smart individual for his time. To know that these departments don't talk. There's no interdepartment fucking registry like it is. It takes weeks to get a confirmation of identity from somewhere else.
Yeah.
I mean, like, this guy was smart. That might be one of the greatest serial killers to ever exist.
You love murder.
Sometimes
that's not creepy at all.
It ends up being a fucking cop, because it takes a cop to understand these
things. Several serial killers have been cops at one point in their career.
Well, I sincerely hope that you won't go, but
now let's not talk about that. That's something you should go talk to your therapist about.
Yeah, that's. Are you actually here to have a conversation, or are you just here to be like
being silly? But
and edgy and stuff.
Yeah, come on, that's not.
Are we done with the news? What's up?
Nope, we got distracted boat. Serial killers.
Serial killers. Okay.
It's kind of relevant because we were talking about true crime stuff earlier anyway, so that's why we played along.
And we have a true crime movie that we're going to talk about tonight. So.
Excellent.
Or miniseries, I should say.
Oh, yeah. I think you told me a little bit about that one. Cool. Ba-do. Oh, yeah, Masters of the... Yeah, it was the whole Masters of the Universe thing. Anyway, I think Masters of the Universe Revelations looks awesome, and I can't wait to see it. And I also really want to watch She-Ra, because that also looks really good, so... Now that I know it's over, I can just sit down and binge the whole goddamn thing. Should be great.
Also, I'm a girl, so I'm not a king, but okay.
Which one? Who?
Nothing. I'm just... Anyway, let's move on to the news.
During a recent interview with Den of Geek, actress Margot Robbie revealed that a Birds of Prey sequel is currently not in the cards at Warner Brothers. However, she is actively trying to get a Harley Quinn and Poison Ivy film off the ground. Trust me, I chew their ear off about it all the time, says Robbie, when asked if there's been any discussion of bringing Poison Ivy to the DCEU. They must be sick of hearing it, but I'm like, Poison Ivy, come on, let's do it. I'm very keen to see a Harley Poison Ivy relationship on screen. It'd be so fun. So I'll keep pestering them. Don't worry. Oh, we love you, Margot Robbie. You're the best. Robbie will be next seen as Harley Quinn in James Gunn's The Suicide Squad, which hits theaters and HBO Max on August 6th. And that looks like so much fun, too. Really looking forward to that one. Toei Animation has announced a brand new Dragon Ball Z Super film is in development and will be released in 2022. Toei also announced that Dragon Ball series creator and longtime author Akira Toriyama is working closely with the production team on the new movie. All of this collaboration has resulted in what Toei calls a Dragon Ball movie unlike any other in its history.
Oh, yeah, Dragon Ball Twitter was blowing up on my timeline. I had to,
Oh, really?
Like, I don't care. I'm glad you're happy.
I've only seen 20 episodes of it, and it was fun, but until they put up proper Blu-rays, I'm not interested.
It's not my bag.
Yeah.
Cool.
I'd watch it. Like, I was entertained enough that I would watch the rest of it, but I want proper Blu-rays of it.
I'm more interested in getting into Gundam.
Gundam, really, yes. Oh, my God, yes. Gundam definitely.
We only watched, 8 episodes, but,
Gundam definitely takes priority.
Here's the thing. Gundam, I thought was boring at the time, but I still think about some of the imagery I saw. Mm-hmm. So that tells me that even if I thought the first 8 episodes were maybe boring or slow or whatever, there's something there worth watching.
Yeah,
so I'd like to go visit it at some point.
I've watched the one that we watched, the original 1979 series, twice, all the way through. And,
nice. The first 8 episodes a couple times.
Yeah, well, yeah. And I loved it, but it's definitely one you got to stick with because there are sort of key points in the series where big things happen where everything changes and stuff like that. So the first batch of episodes is kind of a lot of setup and world building, I think, because that was the first ever Gundam series, so they had to establish everything.
There was that character that burnt up in Re-Entry, and I was like,
"That's right, yeah."
That was so fucking brutal.
There was a lot of stuff that
still vividly sticks in my. That scene vividly sticks in my mind.
There was a lot of stuff about one of the central themes was about the horrors of war, to present a show for kids and young teens that showed that war is not pretty, that there are consequences.
Nobody's winning. There's only survivors. That's it.
And it was also one of the first shows of its type to depict the villains and their relationships with just as much depth and care as the heroes. So everybody is a fully rounded, fleshed out character with hopes and dreams and ambitions and personalities. And there's really no evil characters in it. It's just people with different perspectives and different beliefs fighting for what they believe in.
Yeah, surviving.
It's a very smart
You know what I remember from those days? I remember Daira. It means you.
See,
that wasn't Vito though. That was way later.
That was later, but Dairugger's another good example of that because that had a lot of characters that were.
It means love.
Yes. Anyway, that was another good example of a show that had villains that were not strictly evil. I mean, there was even some villains that wanted to end the war and make peace, but they kept getting stopped by their own people who wanted to keep the war going.
See,
and
it's interesting. Before that ever happened, in the early 2000s, I literally went like balls deep in like the wiki on that universe, the Universal Century universe.
Oh yeah,
reading all about it because
Gundam,
that's really fascinating to read because I can read a lot more of the storyline quickly.
Yeah.
It doesn't have the same emotional impact. But
no,
like,
obviously,
anyway.
you're just getting the broad strokes. But
right. It's like reading history, but it was like fascinating.
But
so okay.
I have all of the first 2 Universal Century Gundam shows, so we could at least watch that. And then you get a good.
I'm sure that's what the movie's gonna be based on too.
You get a good feel
or Gundam
for
Wing, right?
The Gundam Wing is an alternate universe story.
I'm saying so the movie is going to be based about on either Universal Century or Gundam Wing. Those are the 2 popular ones.
Yeah, those are the 2. Gundam Wing is. They did a few of these where it's kind of alternate universes where it's similar to the story of the first one, but things are different. So Gundam Wing, like if you've seen the original Gundam, you'll see a lot of familiar faces and such, but the events are different, and characters who died in the other one might not die in this one, or what have you. And vice versa.
That endless waltz mecha for like forever. I know what mecha that is.
There was that. There was another one they did,
wings and shit,
which was G Gundam, which was kind of like Robot Jocks actually, where nations would get together with their Gundams and fight in arena battles to determine who would win.
That sounds like my fucking speed.
Yeah.
Because I love sports anime, and that's the sports anime right
So
there.
that's basically what that one.
Sci-fi trappings on one of my favorite genres.
Yeah, well, yeah. See, I don't have that one yet, but
I mean, I watched Girls Unto Panzer, and like it's about arena battles between schools, like high schools with tanks.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
And like it's in its own post-apocalyptic sci-fi world that's
nice.
When it reveals itself, you're like, "What? Holy shit!" It's like it's a big reveal. I will never spoil it for you, but it's just like, holy shit! I cannot believe that.
Nice.
What a cool idea! I wish there was more to it. I need to get the movie. That's the only thing I'm missing right now.
All right. Well, we'll figure out how to tackle Gundam one of these days. I figure at the very least we'll hit the some of the major ones in the Universal Century timeline. Just kind of
get Gundam now.
Get a flavor of that one. You want what?
I want G Gundam now. That sounds like totally my speed.
Robot Wars the animated
G Gundam,
series?
it's on Blu-ray now. I'll have to see if it's affordable and still available.
Is it?
Most of the Gundams are on Blu-ray now. Actually, they put a bunch of them out. I know Major Mitoko's been collecting them. Okay.
I'll bring it back.
Okay. Yeah, most of them are released in 2 volumes, like each with about 26 or so episodes.
$50 a volume, $40 for the first volume, $50 for the second volume. Okay,
that's not too bad.
That's fair.
That's
not bad at all. I mean, it's on Blu-ray. It's a long series.
Yeah, it's like 50-something episodes.
I can get the Ultra Edition with $175. It's like 2 art books. I think that's a fucking script book, or maybe it's a comic book. I can't tell. I kind of want it. I don't need it, but I kind of want it.
So carrying on.
Sorry.
We keep going on tangents with what started that one? Oh, Dragon Ball. Yeah, it's like, well, actually, the big saga I'm interested in is, and then off we talk about Gundam. Netflix is partnering with Subaraya Productions to develop a brand new Ultraman as a CG animated feature film aimed at bringing a new, wider audience to the beloved silver-suited character. Shannon Tyndall, an animator who's worked on Coraline and Kubo and the Two Strings, will make his feature directorial debut with the project. From a script he wrote with Kudo screenwriter Mark Hames. John Aoshima, writer on DuckTales and Gravity Falls, will co-direct. Very cool. I'm down for pretty much anything Ultraman. I haven't even seen any of them, and I already know it's something I would dig.
Wow. We have so there's OVAs and now there's ONAs. Do you know what ONA is? Original net animation.
Oh, okay. I was going to say some kind of streaming thing.
Can't you just call it a series?
Like a streaming series or something? Yeah.
Yeah, basically.
Legends of the Hidden Temple is headed back to the small screen, but not in its original kid-friendly format. The Nickelodeon competition adventure series from the 1990s is all grown up in the revival ordered Tuesday by the CW. This time, the entire show is taken out of the safety of a studio setting into a mysterious jungle with tougher challenges and bigger prizes. 5 teams begin the journey, but only one is strong enough and smart enough to enter the ominous Olmec's temple. Avoid the temple guards, retrieve a lost treasure, and return it to its rightful owner. It's Olmec, not Olmec. I was thinking Olmec, the warrior from the future, or whatever, the Jack Kirby series. Yeah, see, we never got that show here, so I never saw it. So it's not part of my childhood, but I know a lot of you out there were big fans of it. So I've seen clips and stuff since. But
what's this 8th MS team? I've always been fascinated by that title.
That is, it's a side story. I think it happens parallel to one of the early series, and it's basically about a small team, and it takes place primarily on a jungle planet and stuff like that. So there's a few like little mini series like that are just kind of side stories that fit, kind of like, just get slotted into the main continuity.
I really like the way this looks. I might just get this one.
8th MS
pretty
team,
short series.
I've seen, it's like 8 episodes, I think, something like that.
12
episodes.
Like
okay,
that.
yeah. No, I've seen pictures of that one before. I remember the DVDs that were originally released had really nice painted
Me
covers.
Too. Yeah, see, that's what I'm thinking of, right? Mm-hmm. I'm like, oh.
So
sorry, I didn't mean to get distracted.
That's okay. No, ideally, I think I mentioned this at the time, is ideally what I'd like to primarily focus on is the Universal Century stuff. Get all of that, because that's the big, sprawling universe, and then get some of the side ones that look interesting. Like G Gundam is one I've had my eye on for a while. That just sounds like a cool idea. I like the idea of kind of a Robot Jock style series.
Yeah, I'm fucking down for that. We can watch that. I'm down to watch it.
Well, then that's a standalone too, so you don't have to have any of the context of any of the others. You can just watch that on its own. So most of the side ones are like that, like the non-Universal Century ones are like that.
Cool.
Let's see. Legendary has closed a deal for Regina King to direct and produce the feature adaptation of Bitter Root, the acclaimed Image Comics series created by David F. Walker and Sanford Green, and indie veteran Chuck Brown. Set during the vibrant Harlem Renaissance of 1924, Bitter Root follows a fractured family of once great monster hunters who face an unimaginable evil that descends upon New York City. For generations, the Sangares have hunted and cured those infected by a supernatural force that feeds off the prejudice of the era. Interesting. Transforming humans into monsters. Wow, that sounds like social commentary out the ass. With most of the kin dead, the surviving Sangares have the unenviable choice to save or kill the creatures in hopes of thwarting an invasion. Wow, that sounds really complex and interesting. Cool. Actor Boyd Holbrook is the latest name to join the cast of Indiana Jones 5, directed by James Mangold. Previously, Holbrook was a standout in the series Narcos and was a pivotal part in the James Mangold-directed Logan. Oh, okay, cool. A sequel to Enola Holmes has been greenlit by Netflix, with Millie Bobby Brown and Henry Cavill returning as brother-sister tandem Enola and Sherlock Holmes, respectively. Interesting. Both the Ms. Marvel series for Disney Plus and Sonic the Hedgehog 2 wrapped production this week. Oh, there you go.
Huh.
Married writer-producers Eric Heiserer and Christine Boylan, who've previously worked on shows like Shadow and Bone and The Punisher, have partnered with game publisher Paradox Interactive to develop the World of Darkness story universe for film and television. Launched in 1991 with the tabletop role-playing game Vampire the Masquerade, the World of Darkness universe includes other properties like Werewolf the Apocalypse, Mage the Ascension, Orpheus, and Hunter the Reckoning. And also Wraith the Oblivion, which never gets enough credit. I really liked Wraith. It was a cool one. And has expanded to video games, comic books, novels, virtual reality, and card and board games. Cool. Well, I'm definitely down for a revival of the World of Darkness. That was some good shit. 3 original Adult Swim series are getting the feature film treatment. Aqua Teen Hunger Force, Metalocalypse, and The Venture Brothers. Rather than send the movies straight to Adult Swim's sister HBO Max immediately, the picks will get a release worldwide on Blu-ray, DVD, and PVOD, so pay VOD, with a 90-day exclusive window before hitting the streaming service and Adult Swim. Interesting. The new Metalocalypse movie from co-creators Brendan Small and Tommy Blancha follows the power-hungry tribunal as they unveil their secret and deadly Falconback project. This is against a backdrop of a world which is growing embattled in chaos, with the menacing Doomstar breaching the Earth's atmosphere. In the Venture Brothers movie, Doc's latest invention will either bankrupt the Ventures or launch them to new heights, as Hank searches for himself. Dean searches for Hank. The Monarch searches for answers, and a mysterious woman from their past threatens to bring their entire world crashing down on them. And finally, Aqua Teen Hunger Force will be a continuation of the hit animated series, whereby fans will find out what happens next with Frylock, Meatwad, and Master Shake, who consider themselves crime fighters, but the truth is they never fight crime.
True.
In new release news, the following either premiered in theaters and or on their respective streaming services this week. Spiral from the Book of Saw to universally acclaimed reviews. Now, see our pre-show where we talk about the New York Post article about it. The ninth film in the Saw franchise, premiered in theaters. I personally am really looking forward to this one and have been for a long time, so fuck y'all.
Me too. Fuck the haters.
Fuck the
I'll watch it
haters.
and decide myself.
Exactly.
Maybe I won't like it.
Maybe.
But I'll get to decide myself.
You never know. Sounds good from the descriptions I've heard, but...
I know, right?
Oxygen, the claustrophobic thriller directed by Alexander Aja, hit Netflix. The third episode of Dark Side of the Ring, Season 3, premiered on Vice TV, centered on the King of the Death Match, Nick Gage. Content warning is in effect if you can't handle the sight of blood.
Glad dudes breaking glass on each other in that one.
Yeah. The Woman in the Window, a Hitchcockian thriller starring Amy Adams, hit Netflix. Those Who Wish Me Dead, a fiery case of cat and mouse starring Angelina Jolie, premiered in theaters and HBO Max, streaming for a 30-day period. The fourth and final season of the anime series Castlevania premiered on Netflix. Hey, now I can watch it all because I know it has an ending. And finally, the fourth of the WWE biographies premiered on A&E, centered on two-time Hall of Famer and six-time world champion Booker T.
That dude was arrested 26 times or something like that.
That's crazy.
Before he ever started wrestling. I mean, he kept getting in trouble and stuff. I think it was 20, maybe 16. Anyway, something with the 6. Sorry.
Wow. 666 times.
My brain loses numbers like that really easily.
That's okay.
But yeah, I mean, it was really fascinating. I learned a lot of new stuff about him that I thought I knew a lot about him from some other stuff that had been written and done about him. So it's actually really fascinating.
I always thought Booker T was a pretty good wrestler.
He's pretty good.
Back when I was watching. Yeah.
Great on the mic.
Great, but pretty good. Yes.
Amazing on the mic.
So, video game news.
5 times.
Oh, God.
Video game news. What's on the screen this week, Eric? Tell me it's more of that sweet-ass functioning keyboard.
It was Slaughterhouse 3. He left before.
Splatterhouse.
Yeah.
Splatterhouse 3. Sorry, I say Slaughterhouse 3. Wrong movie. Wrong thing. It's
Slaughterhouse.
Slaughterhouse is a movie. Splatterhouse is a game.
Yes. So, you can see that with lots of Garbage Gamer action and discussion in the pre-show. So check out the pre-show.
It was actually a really good pre-show.
It actually was a legitimately good pre-show. It was very much like old
school. It's a whole other
SNI
worth of content. It's like 3 hours long.
It is, yeah. Garbage was with us for the whole pre-show because it went so long. He just had to get to bed. So sorry.
He'll bring the news with him next week.
Yeah,
so.
he said there wasn't a ton of big news this week anyway, so he's just going to bring it next week and add to whatever happens next week. It's stupid.
Well, it's going up on
Fine,
YouTube.
stay up. I don't care. All right, so in memoriam this week, we lost a few folks. We lost Jerome New Jack Young, professional wrestling and hardcore legend with a 29-year career between 1992 and 2021. Jerome started in Smoky Mountain Wrestling, often inciting near riots with his racist tirades towards the audience in Tennessee. He was best known for his time with Extreme Championship Wrestling, ECW, where he became notorious for his willingness to take dangerous bumps and his stiff hardcore wrestling style, often taking high risks and shooting on opponents, verbally or physically.
Legitimately hurting each other.
Yeah. New Jack would go on to become a 3-time ECW World Tag Team Champion. New Jack was 58, sadly passing due to complications from a heart attack.
So New Jack, and I gotta say one thing about New Jack. Story, he was wrestling a guy in Florida. He and the guy kind of had disagreement. Guy said he could work as in be a wrestler. Guy couldn't work. New Jack got pissed off, pulled out the knife that he's supposed to just cut him with to get him to bleed in the match. So stabbed him a few times.
Oh.
Fucking stabbed the guy legit in the middle of the match because the guy pissed him off.
Wow.
Yeah.
Crazy.
He was a hardcore wrestler, but he was a little unstable at times.
Yeah, sounds like it. Interesting.
Anyway.
We also
he's full of stories like that. So.
We also lost Lloyd Price, R&B vocalist with a 67-year career between 1952 and 2019. Known as Mr. Personality after his 1959 million-selling hit Personality, and his first recording, Lawdy Miss Claudie, was a hit for Specialty Records in 1952. He continued to release records, but none were as popular until several years later, when he refined the New Orleans beat and achieved a series of national hits. He was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 1998, and Lloyd made it to the ripe old age of 88. We also lost Michael Lynn Edens. Oh, no, Michael Edens. I know this one. Television writer with a near 3.5-decade-long career between 1981 and 2015. His first role was as a writer on the 1981 slasher film The Prowler, touching up the dialogue. He then went on to write for many classic animated shows of the 80s and 90s, like Exo Squad, The Real Ghostbusters, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, X-Men the Animated Series, Wing Commander Academy, and many others. Basically, a good chunk of my shelf over there.
Yep.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. Mm-hmm. He wrote so much of my childhood. We also lost Norman Lloyd, actor, producer, and director with a career in entertainment spanning nearly a century, from 1925 to 2015. He worked in every major facet of the industry, including theater, radio, television, and film, with a career that started in 1923. Lloyd's long professional association with Alfred Hitchcock began with his performance portraying a Nazi agent in the film Saboteur from 1942. He then appeared in 1945's Spellbound and was a producer of Hitchcock's anthology television series Alfred Hitchcock Presents. As an actor, he appeared in over 60 films and television shows, with his roles including Bodolink in Charlie Chaplin's Limelight from 1952, Mr. Nolan in Dead Poets Society from 1989, and Mr. Letterblair in The Age of Innocence from 1993. In the 1980s, Lloyd gained a new generation of fans for playing Dr. Daniel Auslander, one of the starring roles in the medical drama St. Elsewhere. Norman made it to the ripe age of 106. That's awesome. My parents were big fans of St. Elsewhere. I used to watch it all the time with them. It was a great show. It was made by Stephen Bochco, the creator of NYPD Blue and Hill Street Blues and all those. It's a great show.
I remember little bits of that. I never watched the show, but my parents would.
I wanted to see it.
Every now and then I would be like,
yeah. I wanted to see more of it as an adult because I've come to really like those types of dramas as an adult. Mm-hmm. But only the first season's ever been released on DVD. It's like they did like 7 or 8 seasons, I think, originally. So no idea why. I guess it just didn't sell as well as the others.
Curse you!
I know. And we also lost Chuck Hicks, actor and stuntman with a 57-year career between 1953 and 2010. As an actor, Hicks participated in 197 works, including 1954's White Christmas, 1955's Creature with the Atom Brain, and the 60s Batman series, 1971's Dirty Harry, The Rockford Files, 1982's The Beastmaster, and many others. On the stuntman front, he landed 110 credits, including 1967's Cool Hand Luke, 1973's Dillinger, 1982's The Sword and the Sorcerer, and 2 Star Trek films, Wrath of Khan and The Search for Spock. Chuck made it to the ripe old age of 93. And lastly, we lost Graham Ferguson, Canadian filmmaker and inventor with an over 60-year career between the 1950s and late 2010s. He was noted for co-inventing IMAX.
Holy shit.
He subsequently worked with his high school friends Robert Kerr and William Shaw, along with Roman Kreuter, on the experimental 18-minute-long film Polar Life. It was shown at Expo 67 in Montreal and involved using 11 screens and projectors, with the audience situated on a central rotating turntable. The movie was received favorably, leading the 4 of them to establish the IMAX Corporation in 1967. He played a key role in bringing IMAX cameras into space and was appointed to the Order of Canada in 1992. Graham made it to the ripe old age of 91. And that is all the news that's fit to geek this week, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks once again to our New York news hound, Raptor Rivera, for putting all that together for us. Couldn't do it without you, dude.
I like that you say New York news hound. Love alliteration stuff.
It has a nice flow to it, eh?
It rolls off the tongue.
It does,
you know?
yeah. New York news hound. Yeah.
It's fun to say.
It is. It's rewarding, as Orson Welles would say. Yeah. If something is not fun to say, it's unrewarding.
No. Yeah, so New Jack was wrestling this guy in a match, and him and this guy fall off a scaffolding, like a scaffold that's like 2 stories tall, and he fractured his skull. And he was like way more like impulsive after that. But that's like a really famous moment in ECW. Okay. He took a lot of head injuries.
Mm-hmm.
That was old school wrestling. We don't do that shit anymore.
I see.
I don't have any pickups this week, but I did pick something up off of the floor when I was walking up the stairs.
Is it a cat?
Is it a chocolate bar you forgot about?
No.
Is it cat poop?
I just randomly noticed this on the floor. It was on the stairs.
Is it a single cheesy?
Nope. You will never guess what this is.
Is it
Toenail.
The Steelbook edition of Night of the Hunter?
Vegetable.
What?
Animal, mineral, or vegetable?
I guess mineral.
A lump of gold. You're rich.
Food related?
No.
Not food related.
Oh.
Okay.
Well, there goes all my remaining guesses.
Toilet paper.
No.
I don't know. I give up.
Paper towel.
You would never guessed this anyways. It is a pin of Skeletor.
Nah.
He's just
Hey man.
staring lovingly off at something on the right.
Well, clearly he's thinking about He-Man.
Well, one of the kids just lost something cool to Uncle Justin wins.
Well, I mean, I'm just gonna probably put it back out there where somebody will be able to pick it up, but
Be able to step on it and have it jam into the bottom of their foot.
No.
Yeah.
So just put it the other way down with the spike sticking up.
Just
cow trops, baby.
Things here.
There you go. Perfect.
There you go.
Perfect.
Yeah, nice
now you're talking.
Yeah.
Put it right on the bottom stair where they jump off and land extra hard to ensure that it penetrates the bottom of the foot. Penetrate.
Told you never guess it though. There's no way you were gonna guess that.
No.
Pin of fucking Skeletor.
That was very far from any of my guesses. So pickups. We have pickups this week. I have nothing.
Yeah, I got 2.
You got 2?
Yeah.
Stout? You got anything?
I just said I got nothing.
You got nothing. Well,
Nothing.
Skinslip has the only pickups this week. There you go. You have the floor. What'd you get?
Last month's Vinegar Syndrome releases included 2 limited editions I needed. One is a movie called Grave Secrets.
Ooh, I like that cover.
Which is like a possession film.
Okay.
She's clothed. I know it looks suspicious, but she's actually just fully clothed.
That's fine.
I literally stared at this for like 10 minutes. Like, is there even a butt crack on here? No, she's wearing a dress.
Numbered, I see. Numbered on the top there.
Yes, 1,232 of 4,000.
Nice.
Yeah. So, and the only reason I get every PSA title, they have yet to be released in any other form, other than this limited edition. So, and there's 2 more coming out at the end of the month, and they're the only thing I absolutely have to own.
Yeah.
Because I have every one.
Gotta have it.
All of them.
Can I just pause for a second here? Your box sets on the shelf there. There's the one with the woman's eye looking out in terror, and then there's
Forgotten Gialli Volume 2.
Okay, and then there's the one next to it. No,
Forgotten Gialli Volume 3.
No, the other one.
Forgotten Gialli Volume 1.
I assumed. Yeah, it wasn't even about what it was about. It's just about the picture. I keep seeing it. No, just leave it in there. No. Just put it back. Put it back. It's about how it appears on the shelf.
Oh, because of this.
It looks like that's her hair. And then I keep seeing the thing, and then the thing on the where the titles are is like this little stub of an arm sticking up or something. Like that's how I've been seeing it all these weeks.
That's awesome. I will demystify it for you.
Okay.
Here.
Oh, so it is an arm. It's actually just not the arm I thought.
It's one of the many movies called Trauma.
Yes.
It's actually Trauma's not only is Trauma is a gialli, but it's also a pro slasher.
Nice.
Oh. Here's the third one. The eyeball on the side.
I would love to have those sets. God, they're so beautiful.
So this has been re-released. That Stoudman has this bought this re-release.
No, I didn't.
Oh, he's gonna buy this re-release, and it's not in the box. It's just one blu-ray case with all 3 movies in it. So you can still get the movies.
Okay.
You just need the fancy. The only difference is the fancy box and the individual cases. That's it.
Okay. I would like them. Yeah.
I need it.
I can't show you this side because they're boobies.
Okay. Those are beautiful. Anyway.
Oh yeah, and the next thing I bought, it's Homegrown Horrors Volume 1. Everybody who's a long-time watcher here will know that I am a huge fan of regional horror films.
Me too.
And this is 3 original horror films.
That sounds awesome.
This is Fatal Exam, Beyond Dream's Door, and Winter Beast, which is why I bought this. Of course,
Winter Beast?
Winter Beast.
We've been waiting how long for a Blu-ray release of that?
Years.
Holy
it's been
shit.
stuck on VHS.
I need to...
There's been a bootleg DVD before, but so...
Isn't it in some of the Mill Creek sets, like a really janky print?
Yeah, but that's mutilated print.
Okay.
I mean, not that the complete film makes any more sense, but it's just more nonsense.
Excellent.
Fatal Exam. They have really terrible reversible covers, and I really like this new painted art they did.
I like that, yeah.
This is a slasher film, but it's also almost 2 hours long because there's a bunch of, like, apparently existential chatter in this. So I'm interested because it's just going to be a weird oddity. Then we got Beyond a Dream's Door, which I don't know a goddamn thing about, and I'm just going to go in cold having only seen this.
Regional horror, that's all you need to know.
Yep. Well, the thing is these posters don't lie. These are literally based on the contents of the movie. So
yeah.
I know when I look at this, I'm like, this is in the fucking movie, Winter Beast.
Winter Beast.
I do want to point out, it's the only alternate one I'm going to show because this is the classic VHS cover.
Okay, yeah.
Fucking hate it.
That looks
so ugly.
Terrible.
It's terrible shit. This is a nonsense movie. The movie doesn't take place during winter. It takes place during fall. Should we call Fall Beast? It's
Fall Beast.
A joke everyone makes, so I'm just going to take it now.
Okay.
But it's got amazing stop motion.
Yeah.
And there are scenes in this movie where people are talking, cuts to one person, cuts back. The person who has a mustache, like his person has a mustache, right?
Mm-hmm.
He's talking, cuts to the person, cuts back, and he's got a fake mustache on, cuts back. And cuts back to real mustache, and then on top of it, none of that is that it goes from 16 millimeter to 8 millimeter back and forth. Sometimes in the same scene because they're running out of money. It took years to film.
Gotcha.
I want to see this with you so bad. I need you both to see this movie with me.
I want that set. How much is that set to get?
A lot.
Well,
they're $20 movies, about $60.
Oh, that's not a lot. That's reasonable.
And they're remastered.
You gotta
all that
remember
stuff.
Yeah,
this is
exactly.
Sean. He's in
And
Canada.
who
This
put it up?
is
$60 is normal.
Vinegar Syndrome.
Vinegar Syndrome. Okay. There's actually a couple of things I want from Vinegar Syndrome, so I might actually do an order soon.
This is the fully newly rescanned and restored from its 2K from its original 60mm, 8mm film elements, which were thought previously to be lost.
Oh, wow.
This also includes the original, never before seen this release, work print edition.
Oh,
of this.
wow.
And I think it has a director's cut. I think it's 3 cuts, if I'm not mistaken.
Nice.
It's the regular cut, and no, I just think that's only 2. But that's it. That's still pretty wild. Oh, it's got the VHS release, so it's got the original. I think it's got the actual just raw VHS rip.
Oh, like just the janky cut.
I think.
So it has everything.
There's a lot of text here. I keep getting lost because my brain.
Homegrown
I'm really
horror.
fucking stoned. But this is why I bought the set. This movie has been a movie. It's been a bucket list title for forever. I knew what I was getting into when I bought it. You should too. It's not a good movie. It's an Anar classic.
Oh, I know, but I mean, I love those.
That's the worst title. They actually reviewed it.
I mean, like I always say, Alien Factor is one of my all-time favorite sci-fi horror movies, and it's as homegrown horror as it gets.
Yep.
And I love it. I love it for the bad acting and the cheesy monsters and the fact it
that was everything.
Literally looks like it was filmed with someone's home movie camera.
Probably was.
Was.
I mean,
but I love it. There's just something about it. I mean, there's the nostalgia factor because it scared the shit out of me as a kid. It was on Saturday afternoons all the frickin' time.
It's so silly that scared you as a kid, though. It's like,
Yeah.
as an adult, it's not scary. Though.
No, it isn't. But I enjoy it on a whole different level now. It's like
exactly.
I just love the fact that they were all just so dedicated to. Like, you can see the dedication they all had to making this movie, and maybe they thought they were doing something great, maybe not. But the point is, they were taking it seriously and they gave it their all, and it just has this charm about it that I can't dislike, So, anyway, so movies. So Ray and I were watching some more stuff this week. Did we watch Doctor Who this? I don't think we actually watched any Doctor Who this week. We watched, the last ones we watched were The Rescue and The Romans, which I think I talked about last week. We did watch a little bit more of Inspector Gadget, just kind of, after watching movies or whatever all night, we just like to unwind with some cartoons, nice and light and relaxing. You don't have to pay too much attention to it. You know how every Inspector Gadget episode ends. But,
I'll get you Gadget next time.
Yeah, that's right. It's like, usually, either Gadget just bumbles his way to solving the case, or more often, his niece Penny solves it for him, and he gets all the credit.
True.
While Brain, the dog, just tries to keep Gadget from accidentally killing himself.
Isn't that the way things actually work in real life, too?
Yes, they do.
Oh,
precisely.
The guy always gets credit for what the girl did. You know what I'm saying here?
So, what else did we watch? I know we watched the other night. I can't remember what we watched the rest of the week. Maybe nothing. I don't remember. Anyway, the other night, this is our date night, and the reason that my marathon was late, and because I was just dead to the world on Friday.
He did chance for a girl chat.
Our date night that went well into the next afternoon, and then at some point sleep just had to happen. So I woke up at 9:30 p.m. last night and have been up ever since. So Ray told me that she loves Batman. She considers herself a Batman fan, yet
me too.
had never seen a Batman movie. None of them.
Ever.
Cool. So I was like, okay. We're gonna watch a Batman movie.
Oh yeah.
She'd seen some Tim Burton stuff before, and we were talking about this in conversation, and just kind of got onto, I was telling her about how this was the first sort of time we had the dark Batman from the comics on screen, and all the controversy surrounding Michael Keaton's casting and stuff. And she was like, "What? But he's like an awesome actor and stuff." So I was like, "Okay, we're gonna watch this. You got to see this." So we watched Batman '89. Just funny because JL was just talking about how he was watching it today, so we were like tossing quotes back and forth because it's super fresh in my brain. But I pretty much got this movie memorized by now anyway. So anyway, we watched this. She absolutely loved it. She was like, that was awesome. Like, she just was blown away by it. Loved Jack Nicholson as the Joker. Loved all the stuff with the Batmobile. She loved Alfred. She said she just immediately, just was enamored with Michael Gough as Alfred, and just thought it was great. She really enjoyed it a lot. So we'll probably watch Batman Returns, and in no rush to watch the other two. Next, we were a little intoxicated by this point, and we've been watching movies late at night with headphones. We both have our own headphones, and I have a splitter, so we're able to watch them nice and loud in the headphones, so we can not worry about having to keep the volume down and be inaudible. And I was like, hey, since we can watch things loud without any worries, I think we should watch one of my favorite movies that needs to be watched loud, especially since we're really high right now, and this has lots of trippy visuals. So we watched Run, Lola, Run.
Oh, yeah, you love that movie.
One of my all-time favorites, which I hadn't seen for quite a while, and I was like, I gotta share this with you. And when it got to the first turning point, shall we say, in the film, she was just like, she just took her headphones off and nudged me and says, I see where this is going. I'm like, she's like, kind of like Groundhog Day, right? It's like, kind of. Yeah, it's kind of along those lines. I have it on my shelf of time travel movies because I consider this to be a time loop movie, but which it really is, kind of. But it's great. I swear, every time I watch this movie, I find new little details that I had missed before. And
it's a very good movie.
The structure of this movie is so fantastic. I just love it. It's basically about, for those who've never seen it, it's basically about this girl, Lola, who gets a frantic phone call from her boyfriend, Manny. Manny is trying to get in good with some of the local, mobsters or whatever, and he has this problem where he was supposed to get some money to take to the boss of the local mob as a test of his loyalty. So he gets the money, and everything's going well. He's on a subway train heading back to meet up with them, and he loses the bag of money on the train.
Fucking idiot.
So he has 20 minutes before he has to meet with this mob guy, and he has to somehow either, find the money or get the money, just somehow. So Lola says, don't worry, I'll do it. I'll get the money for you. I'll meet you there in 20 minutes, and everything will be fine. So it's basically a race against the clock. It's a race against time. And it's set to, like, the most awesome German techno track I've ever heard in my life. It's just, like, one of my all-time favorite soundtracks. And Franca Potente, who plays Lola, actually does a lot of the female vocals in those techno tracks as well. But such an amazing film. Just incredible cinematography. Even just the production side of it, just simple artistic choice, but it works so well, is anytime Lola or Manny are on screen or in the scene, it's on film. Anytime it's one of the side characters, but without Manny or Lola present, it's shot on digital video. So it's like it keeps going back and forth between these two styles. As soon as Lola walks in, it's on film. But then she walks out, it's back on digital video. It's like really cool stylistic choice. There's certain segments are animated. This really kind of stylized animation. And the other thing I like is there's a little bit of butterfly effect in it as well, where as Lola's running frantically to try to get, figure out how to get the money and stuff, she passes by or bumps into all these different people along the way. And what happens is she'll run off, and then the camera will swing around and focus on the person she just bumped into. And then you'll see this like rapid flash of Polaroids showing that person's life from that point forward up until, what their ultimate sort of fate was. Sometimes they die, sometimes they get married or fall in love or get up in jail or whatever. But it's like you see each time it goes through the sequence and she interacts with these people in very slightly different ways. It sends their lives catapulting off in completely wildly different directions from what we saw in the previous loop, basically.
It's literally the butterfly effect.
It's literally the butterfly effect. So one time she just runs by someone. Other times she accidentally bumps into them a little bit. And it's just all these tiny little changes. And it's so meticulously structured. Like I said, I've seen this film I don't know how many times, and I'm always finding like little connections and links between all the different iterations of that 20-minute run that take place in the movie that I never saw before. I never connected before. I'm like, oh, it's that. Right. This was because of that. This turned out this way, and it's really fun to kind of try to connect the dots between all the different things. And there's also like little things in each loop that seem to actually affect the later loops. Like, for example, there's one where there's a security guard that's chasing Lola through the whole thing, and he's this kind of chubby guy, and he's getting winded chasing her, and you just hear the very faint sound of a heartbeat, and he looks a little bit, like he's short of breath and stuff. So then he goes to the next loop, and there's no chase, but you hear his heartbeat start up again, as if it's picking up right where the chase would have been in the previous loop, and he has a heart attack. So it's like things that happen in the other loops affect the other loops and stuff, and it's a fucking amazing film. See it. Just see it. Just see this movie and fall in love with it like I have for the past 20 years. And
I have it on Blu-ray.
Make sure you watch it in German with subtitles, because you really need the performance of the live actors for this to really get the full
dubbing
emotion.
It's terrible.
And the dub is terrible. Yeah. Yeah. So anyway,
like everyone's in a closet. It's really annoying.
Yeah, it's terrible. So you really need the raw emotion of the actual actors in it, because it's a very, very emotionally charged film. Incredible cinematography, thumping, rockin' soundtrack. Nobody does techno like the Germans, and it's just a lot of fun. And it's one you can rewatch over and over again.
I have that soundtrack.
I have it too, actually. I have it on CD.
I used to. I don't currently.
It's one you can watch.
It for $1.
It's one you can watch over and over again, and you'll find something.
Pretty sure it's
different
worth more
every
than
time.
$1 now.
It could be, yeah.
It's a great soundtrack, yeah.
And then next up, we spent probably an hour looking over my shelves, trying to pick something to watch, because we wanted to watch another movie.
Pod.
And she just kept ringing off titles. She couldn't quite read all the titles on the spine. She was just reading the ones that were printed really big that she could see without her glasses. And I was like, I don't know about that one. No, about this. But I was like, because we were pretty gone by this point, I was like, I don't want to watch anything we have to pay too close attention to. So I'm like, what about a horror movie? Maybe in the horror movie. And it's like, no, there's a lot of horror movies we should probably pay attention to, too. So finally she said, well, what about we just watch the second Saw movie? So I'm like, yeah, that works.
There you go.
That's not too complex, and we can follow it. And yeah, so we watched the second Saw movie, and we thoroughly enjoyed it. I hadn't seen them, I think, since I watched them.
With 15 seconds to choose a movie. It takes an hour. That's right.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Yeah, because I don't think I've watched the Saw movies since all of us watched them, where the three of us watched all 7 of them over the course of a couple days. So it was fun. I remember bits and pieces of them, but of course they all tend to flow together, because whenever I watch Saw, I end up watching all 7, because I just love how the story evolves over the course of it and gets more and more convoluted as it goes.
Each time it just retcons more and more shit.
I know, it's great. I love that stuff, because I grew up reading comic books where they retcon shit all the time. So yeah, so she really really enjoyed it. I will say number 2 is the one with the pit of needles, which everybody cringes at.
I actually cannot watch the screen when it happens.
And she was cringing. She works, in the hospital industry, and she was cringing. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And she was cringing and like cowering into my shoulder and stuff. And
God, I don't blame her.
And I won't say what it is, but okay, every one of the Saw movies has a big twist towards the end, something that kind of sends the story catapulting off in a direction that you did not expect. There's a couple of them in Saw 2 that kind of set things up for further sequels. It's clear by this point they were planning to do it as a series, because they were setting things up that could later be referred back to and whatnot. So there's a pretty big one at the end of Saw 2. A lot of people consider it to be one of the best twists in the entire series. I think it definitely ranks right up there because I sure as hell didn't see it coming the first time I saw the movie. But when you look back, I love how when they give you the twist or the the big moment, they give you the flashes back to all the clues that you were given along the way, and all the pieces of the puzzle that you didn't have the context for to get the full picture. But now that you know the answer, they show you all the pieces of the puzzle and how it all fits together, like a jigsaw, if you will. And the twist in this one's really good. And when she saw it, she was just like, "What? What? 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 No. What? No. What? What?" She was just like freaking out. Like, it just like
Great.
did not see that coming. Holy shit. Oh my God. Yeah. So, and I was just like, excellent. There are so many more such twists coming. But,
right.
Yeah, so we're probably going to keep going with this series because we're 2 movies in, and she's like, and it's a twist, but it's also a huge cliffhanger. Like, they almost all end on massive cliffhangers. So I said, basically, think of this like a Netflix series. Like, every episode leaves off with a big cliffhanger, and you're just going to want to go straight on to the next one. So we're probably just going to keep going with those until we watch all 7, and then I can finally watch Jigsaw, which I've never seen, and then
Me either.
and then get the new one when it comes out. So anyway, that is it for my movies. Oh, I also watched some more Parks and Rec, and having a great time with that, as usual. Almost finished season 5, which I definitely have not seen because I don't recognize anything now. So I think I left off in season 4 originally. I did just see the big episode with Patton Oswalt's Star Wars filibuster.
Oh my God, that episode is so good.
It's the best.
In the
I love how they keep it going in the fucking the credits, right? You get to see it in the credits.
no, it's in the deleted
Like
scenes. It's in the deleted
The
scenes.
okay.
Yeah.
It was ad-lib, too. He just fucking went off.
Yeah.
Oh, so brilliant.
He's a fucking brilliant.
I like that they're doing more with his character too, and bringing him in a little more at this point too, which I like because I mean, who doesn't love Patton Oswalt? The man's wonderful.
I think he's awesome.
He's funny. I really got to watch that stand-up special of his on Netflix that everyone's raving
They're
about.
all really fucking funny. I've seen every single one of them multiple times.
I will have to watch them all.
Patton
Comfort
Oswalt
food.
is just an amazing comedian. I love him.
He really
He's,
is.
a
Yeah.
bear, he's an
They don't
amazing
follow him.
storyteller. My
Yeah.
favorite jokes are just where he just tells you about something and it's just ridiculous in its nature, and the way he describes it's just ridiculous. I don't know.
Mhm.
If you don't follow him on Twitter, you have to.
I
need
follow
to.
Yeah,
him on
it's a
Twitter.
requirement.
Yes.
His dunks are
Yes.
the best.
Yeah. Oh, he's great. Yeah. So. Oh, is that on Netflix, Jail? Yeah, I definitely like to check that one out too. The last Blockbuster
Yes.
documentary.
It's stories about working on Blade Trinity. Exactly.
Oh, was he in that? Was he in Blade Trinity? God, I think we talked about this before.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll have to. I haven't. I only just revisited the first Blade with Rose because she hadn't seen any of them. I was like, oh yeah, you probably like this.
I need to revisit all of them. I need
Yeah,
Blu-ray.
and but we haven't got around to revisiting the other two. Well, it's because I got the Blu-ray set. I've had the DVD set for ages, and I finally upgraded to the Blu-ray.
I got the standalone DVDs,
But
I just gotta get the Blu-ray.
Keeping the
Yeah.
DVDs because they have more extras. But
All the extras, actually. God.
also the box set I have of the DVD trilogy is really nice. It has this embossed cover on the box and
Yeah.
everything. It's really pretty.
I have the
like it.
Snapper Keeper of Blade 1.
Ouch.
And
Jesus.
that's how old it is.
Wow. I've got the new
Same
line.
disc as the other releases.
I've got the
It's
new line platinum editions of all three.
It's a
with-
new line platinum. That's in a Snapper Keeper. One of
Oh,
the first.
wow. I didn't even know those were
What?
in a Snapper Keeper originally. That's crazy. All right.
That
well,
one and there's one other one I think. But like that was like literally like, when they started. They stopped doing Snapper Keeper shortly after. So.
yeah.
One of the last. They may even be in the last Snapper Keeper for all I fucking know.
I don't know.
But I've had 2 and 3 as regular versions, of course.
Yeah.
The 2
Interesting.
disc version of 3.
All right. Well, what movies did you two watch this week individually or together?
Well, let's talk about the. Did we talk about the Sons of Sam: A Descent into Darkness last week? I feel like we did for some reason.
That sounds
No.
familiar. It may
Well,
just
okay,
be
no, I
because
think we
I've
talked
seen-
about it's because we keep doing. Because the way it's doing right now is we keep doing our show before we do S and I
Oh,
instead of doing
yeah.
the S and I and then the show. So
Oh,
it's like,
okay. So you're getting them
because we skipped a week. That's what happened. Before it was the other way around, but we had to skip a week because Stout over here has work and paying bills or some shit.
Okay.
Anyway, so The Sons of Sam: A Descent into Darkness is a 4-episode true crime documentary about this guy's obsession with this theory that the Son of Sam wasn't alone. It's directed by the same person who did Cropsy, Keller Legends, and Murder Mountain. I still see Murder Mountain. I'm gonna see that eventually. But
you've seen Cropsy and Keller Legends, which are both very good documentaries.
Two thumbs up for both.
I recommend you watch.
Okay.
Yes.
This one,
you would love Cropsy.
Oh, Cropsy. Yeah, the one that The Burning is based on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The documentary itself is not bad.
Yeah.
But like, the subject of the documentary is like, I don't know.
So this is about this man's obsession with this. So like, the first episode is about his life leading up to becoming a reporter and doing some reporting, up to doing this for case and getting obsessed, right? And I think also talks about how he just randomly, how his death happened. Like, he talked about his life. Second was about the case of Son of Sam case and everything about it, and all the discrepancies. And then part 3 is about all the discrepancies, and delves into some of the series. And part 4 is about his obsession. But his series become an obsession, how it consumes him, and how and at one point it literally illustrates him making leap connections by, like, he looks at this hermetic seal symbol and it's got some Berkowitz thing on the outside, and he's like, well, it looks like Berkowitz to me. I'm like, OMG. that is a bit of a leap. But the movie isn't about the case, it's about this man's obsession. So it's a really good, but it may not be everyone's cup of tea. It's not a huge focus on Berkowitz per se.
Yeah, it's not as big of a focus as I was kind of hoping to see, because
same.
There are things about David Berkowitz, that like most people don't ever get to hear, which is that, like, when you actually look into it, he was quite an intelligent person. It is very likely he knew what he was doing. He wasn't actually insane. He was trying to pretend to be insane, probably, in order to get a lighter sentence, he thought, perhaps, at the time.
Or go to a lower security mental ward.
So all those claims about, well, the dog told me to do it, are probably bullshit.
Yeah.
You know?
And what it was specifically was that a demon was inhabiting the dog that was telling him to do it. So, but that theory is one of the main threads that the reporter goes with, and so he now assembles this cult of people. And to be fair, they showed all the all the drawings, and there's one that looks nothing like the others at all. And I'm like, that's probably not related.
Yeah.
That probably is just some random guy.
Yeah.
The drawings of, like, the sketches, you mean, of the...
the sketches. The witness
the witness sketches of people that...
They all looked really, like, similar to Berkowitz in some way, except the one. And I'm like, that's probably not Berkowitz.
And if I recall correctly, that one looked a lot like the California killer, right?
Yes.
Several years later, mind you, but he wasn't.
That's because
doing it this time, mind you, because he was so fucking young at that point. He would have been like 8 or 9 or something like that at that point.
And there's that, and that's the one that is linked to the guy who it ended up not being Berkowitz or the California killer. It ended up being like the maintenance guy. I don't know if they ever read that in documentary. I found that out elsewhere, where it was that one case was in 2018. They found DNA evidence that linked the true killer to that one specific murder. But yeah, that was like that's not Berkowitz. It doesn't look anything like him. Anyway, that was a pretty good doc. That's worth watching. It's 4 episodes.
Yeah, the documentary itself focuses on, I would say, more than anything, the person's obsession who was looking into this, who was investigating David Berkowitz and the claims that he made, investigating whether or not this was actually more than one person working on it. And they're showing you how this person who investigated it, who became quite, like, I wouldn't say famous, but popular at the time. He got invited on the talk shows and shit like that, right? And he wrote a book and everything. in the 80s and 90s, he became fairly popular for his theories about David Berkowitz, and he actually got in these interviews with David Berkowitz that you get to see some of in the documentary, right? And so, what the series is showing you is not necessarily did David Berkowitz do this. It is, this guy who was obsessed with whether or not David Berkowitz did this alone.
Yeah.
He may have gone a little too far. He may have been making a bit of a stretch in terms of.
He does dig up some really interesting links. He has some really interesting. There's a lot of evidence. You're like, wow, I don't know. There's something else going on here, but like that guy never found out, so we don't find out. But like, I feel there's some links. I'm like, that definitely should be fucking investigated. So like, a little more thoroughly, stuff like that. So, then we watched the gold black work print of The Punisher from 1989, starred Dolph Lundgren, which is sourced from the first time ever. The German release that was from a bootleg spliced together as a hybrid cut with a high def footage. This was sourced from Goldblatt's official beta master tape of his record cut.
This copy of the.
You cannot tell the difference because they're from the same listing style. They're about the same listing you did.
Or this copy.
That's the cover you'll see.
That's the cover you'll see.
And you'll buy it, and some of them have a fucking reversible cover. Mine doesn't.
What?
Yeah.
Great.
So this gold black cut, I would say the Punisher is a 6 out of 10 movie. It's really good. But it's it is what it is. It's an action film.
Yeah.
Some people are going to find it dull.
We always enjoyed it. I remember we've always talked about how much we enjoyed it.
The Gold Black cut's 7 or 8 stars. I mean, like,
wow.
It's a vast improvement.
Yes.
You get like 15, 20 minutes of Frank Castle and Larry, Louis Gossett Jr. We'll call him Larry. Louis Gossett Jr. Larry Gossett Jr.
Good old Larry Gossett Jr.
But Louis Gossett Jr. doing like fucking like it shows them like them being cops. It shows him like coming to their house, like Gossett Jr. coming to their house, and like they're like talking to him like he's family. He's basically family, and that's just not at all shown in the movie there. So it's like his connection to like Louis Gossett Jr.'s obsession with Frank Castle feels really unmotivated in the theatrical cut and the unrated cut, because this whole segment of him being very close, intimate friends with Frank Castle means that
his family.
Yeah. So the two things, Louis Gossett Jr.'s acting becomes more apparent when you see that he's a very much jovial, cheery person before Frank's family, and by extension, Louis Gossett Jr.'s family gets exploded. And then, and Dolph Lundgren, who's just brooding the entire movie. Yeah, you see a completely different side of him. He's a happy, jovial person. It's like day and night. And giving those scenes, it literally, all the things people have a problem with, the flat acting, isn't flat acting. You're just missing the good part, the other half of the acting, You're
missing the context that is provided by the fucking scenes that were cut out of the fucking movie.
Really?
Yes. Only available from Umbrella Blu-ray, Region B locked.
Only available in fucking SD, although it does look pretty good. It's
beta, so it's better than VHS. It looks really good.
It looks pretty good.
This guy, he clearly kept it in that cool drive place because the image is perfect and stable. There's not a single ounce of flaw in this image. It's beautiful. I would say
it is proof to me that
VHS
that this movie understands who the Punisher is as a character.
Very clearly.
People don't think that because they think it's a cheesy fucking movie that's the worst.
And it is, but it's also...
But it actually does quite well understand the Punisher character.
They just got cut out all the understanding.
It was a pretty big deal. I remember when that came out. I don't think it got a theatrical release. It was just straight to video.
It went right to video. It was going to be theatrical, but Canon was running out of money.
But I remember it was a big deal when it came out. I mean, a lot of people were concerned that it would be kind of watered down, as a lot of comic book movies at the time were. But everyone was like, well, if they're going to do a Punisher movie, I mean, it's got to be an R-rated movie. Like, it's got to be an R-rated action movie. And it was. They made it, a fairly hard R, but for the time. And it was notable because it was the first time we'd had an R-rated comic book movie.
So here's an interesting note. We were talking about the vagaries of the old MPAA system.
Yeah.
We watched this uncut director's cut, so there's even more gore. This was cut. That was cut because of gore from an X rating to an R rating, but the gore here is hardly even a thing.
Yeah.
That's how vague the MPAA was. They
didn't like nebulous.
The movie. Yeah. Yes. Now they have to have like a fucking clear defined
actual
thing. What is the problem here? Why is this a problem? And then you can go and contest it. And like, I don't think I'm going to cut this. Here's why.
Yeah.
And if they believe you, they'll let you keep the movie and give you your rating. I mean, like, it's a much better system now than it ever was before.
Yeah.
This is one of those movies that got abused by our radar.
Yeah. A lot of action movies did. Well, I remember Oliver Stone talks about that quite a bit in his commentary for the director's cut of Natural Born Killers, and how the MPAA.
It's vague.
They said there was just something about it that they couldn't put their finger on. So he just trimmed a bit here, trimmed a bit there. Just basically, well, maybe it's the gore, or maybe it's this or that. So he just had to guess what they had a problem with because they wouldn't tell him. They didn't know.
They weren't allowed to just tell you straight up what was wrong. But like now they're like, no, we
there
have
was
to
something about. So he says in the commentary, he says, I think it was just something about just the energy level of the film. It was unsettling to them. So the irony is with the cuts that were made for the theatrical film, the original director's cut, a lot of the violence is very over the top to the point of being ridiculous and farcical.
Absurd.
And absurd. That's the perfect word for it. And that was very intentionally that way.
Farcical's a good one too.
It was to take the edge off the violence and make it a little less horrifying, but still have that impact.
Also to make you feel uncomfortable because it's whipping between these two tones.
The original RoboCop is like that as well in the unrated version, like with poor Mr. Kinney in the boardroom, or the death of Peter Weller. The melting man. I mean, there's a lot of different gore moments in that which are intentionally over the top. It's to make them absurd.
I assume actually RoboCop and Natural Born Killers have a very similar tone.
Yes, they are like similar idea. So with both of those movies, the MPAA demanded these cuts, these nebulous cuts. They just kind of assumed it was, well, I guess we got to cut the gore back a little bit. So the irony is, by shortening those scenes, it actually made them more disturbing than they were, because it didn't go that extra step into the absurd. It just went as far as being really violent and gory and disturbing. So it actually had the reverse effect of what the MPAA was looking for.
You really need that full 90 seconds of shooting Murphy to fucking death.
Well, and Mr. Kinney being just blasted into hamburger on the model of Delta City.
Oh yeah. It's like only 2 seconds longer too.
I know.
But it makes all the difference.
It makes all the difference.
It's like 100 bullets more.
It shows the power of editing, and it completely, those few extra seconds, sometimes even those few extra frames, completely change the tone of that scene.
100%. I mean, there's a book called In the Blink of an Eye by Walter Murch, who's an Academy Award-winning director. He talks very deeply about vision, how film is seen by the eye, how editing, literally single frames can change things.
Yeah.
I mean, it's one of the best treatises, and it's very short. It's only like 100 pages on editing. I think everyone should read it. It's highly recommended book.
Yeah, I think
very easy to read.
A lot of it is very much the instinct of the editor. It's like just going by feel. How does this feel? Does this feel right? I'll add a couple extra. You see me doing this in my editing all the freaking time. It's like, I'll play a cut. And everybody will be like, yeah, that looks good. I'm like, it feels a little off. Let's add 5 frames. It's a little better. Maybe 5 more frames. Oh, no, that's too much. Let's shave 2 frames off of that.
Meanwhile, we're over here like,
that's
I don't
good.
see the difference.
Well, exactly. But I see it. It's like, just, I get the feel. Like, I know the vibe I'm going for.
It's like looking in the Matrix. You can just see the code.
Sometimes it's like how long do I keep the awkward pause at the end of the awkward joke? Like, if it goes too long, it's just awkward. But if it goes just the right amount of time, it's funny. It's the right amount of awkward. So,
and to make it awkward, if you just keep going, it can be funny again. If you just
then you pass another threshold, and it's like then it goes into the absurd. You see, it's like extremes can be absurd and be a different kind of humor. So that's what Natural Born Killers and RoboCop had, which the MPAA ruined.
Also, to an extent, Starship Troopers, but less so. And that's more of a scathing criticism. But
that one, yeah, I don't know.
There's some humor in it, but it's not the same whiplash that RoboCop is.
No, it's the same writers and director as RoboCop, so it has the same kind of feel to it, the satirical edge to it.
It's part of Verhoeven's transhumanist cycle.
Yeah. What's the other one? Is there another one in there?
Showgirls.
Really? You consider Showgirls part of that? Total Recall, maybe, but
yeah, Showgirls is about social transhumanism. It's not necessarily about the body.
Suppose changing yourself to fit certain social.
I have in me an essay about how Showgirls is a transhumanist masterpiece, completely misunderstood, and I mean that with no joke, but legit.
Yeah.
I have it in me. It's going to come out one day.
I really hope we get nice editions of some of Verhoeven's Dutch films.
Please.
I really want you to see The Fourth Man. I think you'd really dig it.
I want to see it too.
Yeah, it's.
Just, I could find it.
It's just it's probably out there on torrent sites or something, but it's like. Yeah. It's just officially unavailable right now, and I don't know why. Mm-hmm. I honestly consider it one of Paul Verhoeven's masterpiece films. I think it's
probably
an
sitting over in Miramax's or Lionsgate's fucking archives, just sitting there.
We do have Spetters, which is another one of his early films that I really want to see.
I need to get Spetters.
I need to get that one. I haven't seen that one, but and there's another one, Turkish Delight. I don't know if that's available currently, but
all there.
But I know I know Spetters is that got a Blu-ray from one of the boutique labels a little while ago. It has Renee Sutenjik in it as well, who's also
RoboCop.
stars.
Oh, it's RoboCop it's Total Recall, RoboCop Total Recall, Hollow Man, Starship Troopers, Showgirls. It's like a cycle.
Okay, so 5 films.
I mean, there might be more in the cycle. I just haven't seen any more of his movies. It's like
I still need to see Hollow Man. I was going to watch that as part of my sort of Invisible Man reviews, doing
that's sort of like the dangers of like advancing our body. Like that one's like there's a danger to enhancing ourselves of becoming maniacal or powering or using that power for evil.
Yeah,
Hollow Man's all about the corruption with that power.
Yeah, I know. I know the gist of it.
Technology can give us. I mean, like,
so we get to see.
I said, there's a fucking essay in this. There's gonna be an essay.
We get to watch Kevin Bacon go nuts. Yay!
Yeah.
I've actually really wanted to see that one for a while. I've got the double feature.
It's
I just
so good. The cycle sucks dick, but like
really, yeah.
Oh,
I'll watch
it misses. It misses the point.
Has a lot of sequels.
It's direct to video. I mean, what do you expect? It's literally just
a cash grab.
Yeah, it's exploitation, really.
Yeah.
The only other thing we really want to talk about movie-wise is Stowaway, I think.
Oh, yeah. I really need to see that.
2021. We watched It Follows and Reanimator, but, like, Stowaway, I think, is the big talking point
Just quickly, how was the rewatch of It Follows? I just rewatched that one, too, which I assume is what gave you the idea to rewatch it.
It's fucking great. No, actually, I've been meaning to rewatch it for a while now.
Yeah, yeah.
And Stav's like, I found It Follows. I'm like, oh, shit. All right.
It's good.
You're muted? You muted, Stav.
Sorry. Not only is it still excellent and holds up perfectly.
Yeah.
Amazingly.
But as I was watching it, I came to the conclusion that I didn't realize the first time, is that this is fucking made for sequels. This needs to be a fucking full series of movies, horror movies.
Yeah.
Or a series, actually. That'd be fine, too.
10 fucking movies in this series.
How it's passed from person to person, and
yeah.
Well, and more about the nature, more of the nature of the creature. Yeah, what it is.
Like you could have a movie where the person who has it following them decides to start just like fucking traveling around the world, and that's how they escape it for a few weeks or a few months
or even years.
Yeah.
I was making a joke, like, what if you're in space? Does it just follow you around and look up?
Yeah, right.
Like, I could just imagine they're on a
right below where
vacation.
You are. Yeah.
They're on a fucking vacation in, like, I was going to say Venice, but,
Ooh, it could be like a dad who cheated on his wife with somebody, and then it's like he's such a dark secret following him. Sorry.
Like, an Italian beach or something like that, Cans or something like that.
Cans. Well, What an American way to say that. Holy shit.
Cans. In Cans, Italy.
Cans.
Very American way of
and
saying it.
they're just sitting on the beach, enjoying their time there, like, relaxing. And then in the background, you see somebody just slowly walk out of the water. Toward
Oh yeah, does it even need to
and
breathe
you know to
underwater?
yourself,
Yeah.
as you're watching, like,
Sexual entity.
they're just fucking. They just got up through the fucking ocean and they're walking onto the beach now to get this person. Oh my god!
Like the written text is very much about like venereal disease. I mean, the director said so himself, but like it's also like the specter of your past coming back to haunt you. It's there's also like a million references to
So
Halloween.
many different things you could do with this. Oh my god!
There's a lot here. There's a lot to be in the movie that exists here, and there's a lot in future potential sequels. For some reason, we don't have. We don't know why. Everyone wants to come back and do more.
Oh really? Oh, they've talked about that?
Yeah.
Really?
The main actress and the director both said they'd come back. So
interesting.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it very much on the rewatch as well. I'd only watched it.
Talk to Shudder, talk to Netflix, talk to Amazon, talk to whoever you need. HBO,
Make it
fucking
happen.
get it done.
it should be a Shudder exclusive.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it was. Yeah,
score
I watched
is so
that
good.
with Ray a couple. Oh god, yeah, that score was so good.
Zash Priest did that.
Retro deliciousness.
It's an ode to John Carpenter, really.
Absolutely, without question. But yeah, I love how it's just such a perfect slow burn, and it has this it's one of those creeping sense of dread movies punctuated by moments of heart pounding terror. When it first turns into the big guy, and it just comes.
Dude, scares me.
It just comes lumbering through the door. I'm like, holy shit! Yeah,
he's 7'7" in real life.
Is he really? Wow,
yeah.
That's amazing.
Basketball player.
Yeah.
No, he's not. He's one of the team. It's right. He's not basketball players.
We
They're
looked it up because I was like, that guy looked like a fucking basketball player.
It's half of these twins.
He's
big.
They're
like the world's tallest twins.
Big
Tallest
guy.
twins. Tallest. The world's tallest.
Tallest.
Yeah.
No, it was. It was really good. I really enjoyed that one a lot. It just gets
so good.
Just gets better.
So there was a complaint about like the ending being ridiculous because like nowhere prior is the entity showing like throwing things, so suddenly starts throwing things, but like
that adds to the fucking.
I feel like it's an escalation because like they've been eluding it for so long.
It's just pissed off.
Like getting frustrating. Yeah.
Yeah. It's
frustrating.
Well, that's and who's to say? How, I mean, it's going to react differently to different people depending on how they try to evade it. You know,
I feel like there's people that missed a single planting payoff in which the creature throws a rock through a window.
Yeah.
Thus showing that it can throw things.
It can throw things. It's not that it only exists for the person being chased. It's that the person being chased or has been chased previously can see it, but those who can't. But it still has a physical presence. And it's just invisible to those who haven't been infected. Will eventually
come for you. It is inevitable because even if you pass it on, that person will die eventually, and then it's coming for you again.
Exactly.
So even if you're free of it, you're not really free of it. You're still always looking around.
Yeah.
And nervous and wary of
random people walking directly at you. Without giving it away, I thought the solution that they had at the end was basically just a solution to buy some time. It's like, well, okay, this way, because of what they did, it'll be a few more people down the line removed from them. Mm-hmm. Just because of, you know what I mean. But
but I mean, at the very end, they're walking and you can see someone might be walking behind them.
Might be.
So you never know. But yeah.
Don't know.
You're right. It does feel more about they're trying to buy time more than anything else.
But they're trying to buy time. It was actually a really smart solution when you think about it.
It's death, really, because it's inevitable.
Because that's it. I mean, it's there. The best they can do is try to just buy some time.
Yeah.
And that's what they did.
It's an excellently made movie, and it moves at a very brisk pace.
It was
easy to watch.
Like even as a slow burn. Like I mean, it really does take its time, but it doesn't feel like.
No, it doesn't. No, in slow burns, it doesn't feel like there's a moment wasted here. You're always talking about the thing.
I know.
It's relation, like.
No, what
so
I
it's
mean
like,
is
it's a
it's
slow
like,
burn in the sense that like it's not like but it's like
no, it's a very very deliberately
but
paced.
the plot is moving.
Yeah,
so.
the plot is moving, but I mean, there's a lot of instances where characters are moving very slowly or speaking very slowly. Everything happens very slowly in this.
Everything's deliberate.
Yes, but it adds to that tension, the fact that, it's not constantly moving at a breakneck pace. Even the creature itself, it only ever walks. It never runs. The only time it covers a little more distance with each step is when it decides to be the big guy. But
I think my favorite scene in the movie is when they go to like a high school to ask for information about something, right?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it's a library, but they're going into a building. It kind of looks like a high school, but anyways, the fucking camera shows them walking through the door into the building, but it's still pointed outside, out a window. You see somebody walking slowly toward the window, toward the door. And then as they get closer to the door, the camera pans away, back toward, like a 180 almost, back towards them. It shows them talking to somebody, trying to get some information about something. And as they're getting information about something, you hear that door open in the background. You're like, get the fuck out of there, get the fuck out of there. They never fucking know what's going on.
No.
I love that kind of movie. I love the movie. We know what's going on. We know something scary is coming.
Yes.
But the fucking people in the movie never fucking know.
It's a touch of it was that the fucking touch of evil. It's like the bomb's gonna go off.
Yeah.
Well, a couple of other horror examples. The Invisible Man. The recent Invisible Man, where there was a lot of instances of the camera just panning over to like an empty room or an empty hallway and just lingering there, and then slowly panning back to character.
I want to see it. I haven't seen it yet.
Another one that I think of along those lines is of the scene you described, Stout, is in Paranormal Activity 3, the camera on the oscillating fan.
Oh my god!
How it was, it would see something, and you're like, "Oh my god, there's something there," and then it would pan away, you're like, "No," and then you would you'd come back, and it would be gone.
Motherfucker!
It was just all these little teases like that. So I love moments like that just so little is actually happening visually, but it just sets you on edge. Like it just creates this wonderful tension, delicious suspense. But,
good movie.
Yeah, it's good stuff. Sorry, we talked about It Follows far more than you wanted to. Sorry, what?
Yeah, we got way distracted. Yeah, we talked about that a lot. Anyway, we watched Stowaway 2021.
Stowaway, right?
Which is the trolley problem, the movie.
It is,
but not in a bad way. That's me just being oversimple and reductive. But
it's not a bad
simplative, oversimplative. I just made a new word.
It's a good first movie for Mystery Guitar Man.
Mystery Guitar Man, that's right. Yeah.
He's the director.
For those who didn't know, if you're familiar from the early days of YouTube with the Mystery Guitar Man, he did he was pretty. He had a pretty popular channel back then.
Yeah, he was one of the first
and
popular
he did
YouTubers.
A Snickers commercial and everything. It's pretty.
Oh yeah, he did. I forgot about that.
And for the past few years, what the hell happened to the guy?
Yeah, he just kind of disappeared. Yeah.
4 years ago, his last video.
Apparently, he was making this fucking movie, Stowaway, which is on Netflix now. So.
There you go. He's a director now. He is a director now.
It's a really good movie.
Yeah.
It's upsetting, but in the good ways. It's one of those movies like, no!
I've seen the trailer, so I know the premise of it.
It's
really
good. I don't know how to explain it.
Really good,
Justin, do you have things to say? Help me out here. Get this started.
What I would say
I'm bad at starting these things.
That there are elements of it that are fucking very well done for a low budget sci-fi movie, but that it does. Okay, it's definitely not a Hollywood movie because it doesn't give you the ending you want or expect. But the ending isn't bad at all. It's just that it's definitely not what you would want or expect to happen.
Fair enough.
and that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that, but it does kind of leave it feeling a little flat at the end for me personally. And maybe that's just because I watch too many fucking Hollywood movies. I'll be honest, like it's probably me, right? But at the same time, it's like I can't hate on the movie too much because, of course, you've got so many fantastic actors. Well, not so many, but you've got a few really fantastic actors in there.
I don't feel like it was a badly made movie in any way.
In the movie, right?
Yeah.
But of the actors who are in the movie, all of them do a fantastic job. So I'm not saying you got a few good actors in there, but not all of them. I'm saying no, all of them are good actors, and there aren't that many of them in the movie because it's a movie about
well cast.
four fucking people on a fucking
Good.
space craft, right? So, but despite that, like, and despite my issues, I felt like it really kept you guessing what was going to happen next, who's going to get hurt, or what's going to happen to who. You know, you just don't know until the end, basically.
Every time something bad happened, I was like, of course. Not because I expected that bad thing to happen, but because of course a bad thing happened. These people are extremely fucking cursed. I mean, like, I feel very much relate to them in that way, you know, like, everything is like a fucking struggle for these people.
Yes.
And, like, every time they try something, like, it doesn't always turn out how they want to. Good or better, good or bad. It's very much worth watching, though. I gave it a 7 out of 10.
Yes, 7 out of 10 is a good rating for it. It's good. It's a little bit slow. If you like sci-fi movies, it's a little bit slow, but it's good. It's worth checking out. Absolutely.
Agreed. Yeah. I don't really care about talking about the rest of this shit. I watched a bunch of other movies to get the shit. I want
to talk about The Nest. Well, I probably talked.
That was last week.
Talking about that already.
That was last week, last show, dude.
I want to talk about The Nest again.
I watched Blood and Donuts, which I thought was gonna be a Martin, like, spin-off on Martin, the vampire movie, because it's about a vampire who's reluctant to eat humans anymore. But no, it's just a movie about a guy in a really, and I mean, I can express that enough, a samurai cop level bad wig that's dirty, and then he walks around with a guy whose New York Soviet accent is so bad that he's literally talking, and if his sentence takes too long, he will lose the accent. It's a very, very poorly made movie. And it was boring.
I have some good news for people like me who really want to get that Punisher Blu-ray. It's actually region-free.
Well, I put mine in. It wasn't definitely not region-free. I had to, like, switch the region on it.
It says region-free.
Does yours say region-free? I have it probably. We have a different
It
edition.
says region-free on Blu-ray.com and several of the Amazon reviews under it.
Okay.
So.
Well, I mean,
yeah.
I put mine in and told me I was in the wrong region, but I have a different pressing probably.
What's the other cover there, Stud? Let me just make sure I'm looking at it.
It says Region B.
But
yeah,
can you show me?
Right
can you show me the other cover?
Oh yeah. Hold on.
Inside, just so I can see.
It's Dolph Lundgren.
I want to make sure I'm actually looking at the right. Yeah, that's the one. That's the exact edition I'm looking at.
It's the same one I have, but when I popped in, it definitely said I needed
it. It says R18 at the bottom there, right?
Yeah, that's the one I'm looking at. The Australian release.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
From Umbrella.
If they say it's region free, it is, but I don't know. I put mine in. I have a different printing than
I would
that,
say
so
if they say it is.
Maybe.
But, you know,
I have no idea. Maybe it changed at some point.
I could check it right fucking now.
Check
Yeah,
it
you
right
can, actually.
fucking now.
Let's check it right
Make sure-
fuck now.
Do you have a thing that
to make sure it's an
tells you what the region is somehow magically?
Yeah, so it goes like this: A, B, C. So the way it works is you eject the drive and then you press. Do you want it in region A, B, or C?
Oh, neat. Okay.
Yeah,
that's cool.
So that's it.
Actually,
So
found
I
a
would
use
say
for the
I always
A and C
forget.
buttons.
I always forget to hit the button, so I put the disc in, close it, and it goes, "You're in the wrong region." Open the disc, change the region, close the disc. Like, it's a fucking cycle.
Hold
perpetuates
on.
itself.
So in this case, the yellow button
Same.
would be the A button.
Same.
Okay.
Same remote. Same player, dude.
All right.
We have the
Hold on,
same
I got-
exact fucking player.
Got to turn it to the
That
right
said,
source.
either way, I might buy this anyway just to have it, and then when I get a Region 2 player, a Region B player, or a Region
Right. You
3
can always rip
player,
the disc too to watch on your hard drive.
I need a Blu-ray drive
All right,
for that.
I pressed
Oh, right.
the yellow button.
Ah.
Okay.
I pressed the yellow button.
Okay.
It is loading up. We will see if it tells me you're using the wrong type of Blu-ray player.
Uh-huh. Waiting. Yeah, you both have the same player, right?
This disc is for private domestic use only. Don't worry,
Nope,
this
it
also
works.
shows up. Yeah.
That-
It loaded right
That
up.
should-
Well, what
yeah.
the fuck? Oh, so there's
Alright.
two different pressings, I guess. So
Hold on.
Whatever.
I want to get to the next chapter to make sure it gets to like the menu.
Says
No,
you-
yeah, it gets to the menu. Yeah.
all
If you
right,
get the menu, you're good.
all
All
right.
right. Well, then definitely add that to your purchase.
Then I am going to put that in my cart,
Fuck yeah.
and hopefully I'll
Worth
be
it.
able to buy it someday if I get
Is
some
your
extra
disc
money.
tray open,
There-
Michael? The
There's
disc tray has to be
proof,
open when you hit the region button.
There's the proof, by the way, that just because something says it's region B, as
Well,
it
yeah,
does right
there's those two
doesn't
arrow
mean it is.
there's those two arrow sets I got from Yanglin Zwan. They both say just region B on the back, but they're actually
Yeah.
both region free. So
It's because they've only gotten the rights to fucking do region B, but they just don't care enough to like.
well, those two are available in the U.S. as well. It's
That's
just
because they plan to do. They're waiting for the
Yeah.
rights to free up in the U.S.
it's
That's
just
all
the
it really
UK release, which I guess had to have the UK markings on the cover, so they just shh. It's actually region free, but don't tell anybody.
Yeah. Yeah.
A lot of the titles are like that.
Yeah.
There's region B. Wink, wink.
Wink,
But for
wink.
those times when they're not like that, it's so nice having a region free.
And if you
Wow,
go
yeah.
ask them, like, "Oh, sorry, it's region B," they'll say
Yeah, exactly.
because
Which
they
is why
have
we
to have a
look
contract they have
at
to uphold. You know.
Other sources for that particular bit of information.
Wink, 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 wink.
Yeah, because you. Oh my God, Jerome Crab is in this. Jerome Crab, in the '89 project, he's the star of The Fourth Man.
Oh, he's the homeless guy in this movie. He's
Yeah.
great.
He's
Sites reciting
He's
Shakespeare.
one of my
and shit.
favorite characters. Yes,
He's
I
He's the
love
best
it.
character in the whole fucking movie.
He is the gay artist in the Fourth Man,
Awesome.
who meets
Never
this
seen it.
mysterious woman who may or may not have killed all of her ex-husbands.
Do I have to see the third man before I see the fourth man?
Well, you gotta
And
see the
does that-
first
do I watch
man
both
and the
those
second
before-
man first, but good luck finding
Did-
those.
Do I watch those before I watch the fifth wave?
Or the,
Get out of the
and the
bottle,
Fifth
you
Element.
frozen piece of shit.
Or the fifth element? Shit. Fuck. Which
Yeah.
one is the fifth wave or fifth
Yeah.
element? Which one do I watch first?
I don't know.
I need people to understand my frustration. The fucking thing is frozen. I'm trying to get it out of the bottle.
Well, that's what I feel like when I'm constipated.
Ah, get out of the fucking bottle, you frozen shit. God damn it.
By the way, Chad,
Ow! Ow!
he's very, very drink.
He's very dirty.
I know
I
when he's
need
drunk.
more.
My favorite part is like at fucking 7:30. I'm like, "Are you drunk?" And he's like, "Yes,
Maybe.
a little bit."
No.
It's now midnight.
Oh,
Yes.
I
Okay.
was drinking. So
All right. I have added it to my cart. We'll cross our fingers and hope I get the one Stout has.
I'm sure yours is fine. I got a weird wonky release. I don't know what's up.
Yeah.
With it.
I think you'll be fine.
Well, honestly, if I'm out and about and I find it used with the other cover, I'm buying it again. 'Cause I
Well,
want
yeah,
that
of
other
course.
cover. It's way cooler.
Yeah, of course.
But I'm not gonna go spend $25 for another copy of it.
Yeah.
Just for the cover.
Well,
Because I'll
no.
probably get screwed over and get the same copy again.
Yeah, no doubt.
Curse you!
Story of my life.
Yep. I wish I had the art cover because you know me, I have a penchant for art covers in my collection. So
Mhm.
a preference, I should say.
I just like having like the choice or having the
Yeah.
I
I'm
mean,
not a fan of photo covers.
I like with the Screen Factory and Arrow releases, how they
Not
have
being
like
held
the new
back.
art on the slip cover of the box, and then the theatrical poster on the reverse. So then you can have both. You know, I like that. That's why I always like to get the slipcovers of those.
So yeah, those are all the movies we wanted to talk about. So I guess we can just.
Yeah.
Is the
Each
show
out when we're ready.
finally, mercifully over?
I think you can finally go to sleep, sir.
I'm not gonna go to sleep. I gotta do my highlights and a bunch of other shit, and yeah.
Well, you can finally
This
wind
man-
down then, whatever.
I can wind
If
down.
that Conan O'Brien can't stop, well, we know that Sean McClane can't stop either, apparently. Holy shit.
Can't
fucking midnight,
stop
dude.
believing.
You've been streaming for over 12 hours. You need to go to
I've been
bed.
streaming for
Hold on
13
to
and a
that
half hours. Thank you very
I
much.
hadn't looked in a while.
This
Sorry.
is the longest I have streamed in one go in a very long time.
The microphone covers it, so
I'm
I
going
hadn't really done
I'm going to chop this up into its respective 3 parts. Send the 2 SNIs through to YouTube, and yeah, I might hold off sending SNI through just so the pre-show has time to go up first, and then
It's time to breathe, get its views.
exactly.
And then,
All
especially when they
right.
see it's 3 hours long, they're gonna be like, "Holy shit! It's like an SNI."
It's literally 3 hours. We did a 3-hour pre-show and like a 3-hour show.
Yeah, pretty much.
Madness. Well, hope you enjoyed all the bonus content
Insanity,
there.
really.
Even though, even you fuckers that just thumb down every video I post without even watching them. I don't know what your problem is, but
We
get a
see
life.
you.
Get a
Thanks for
life.
interactions, cucks.
Exactly. Thank you for helping boost my up my visibility in the algorithm
I'm
with
so
engagement.
glad that you can't help but to click on these videos.
Yes, please keep clicking on them. Cha-ching, cha-ching, cha-ching.
Let's roll through the ad first. Thank you.
All right. Well, have yourselves a great day or night, everybody. We will see you next time. Those of you on Twitch, I will see you tomorrow for at least 2 more hours of Mega Marathon Madness. Hopefully we'll get a little bit more in there because, you know, it'd be nice to pay some bills this week. And, yeah. And don't forget to catch Skinslip and Stoudman on Wednesdays at 8 p.m. Pacific for Couch Tomatoes, where they will talk about even more movies that they watched. All right.
2 other times a week. Tuesdays at noon Pacific and Thursdays at 5 Pacific.
Okay. There you go. Tuesdays
Art-
and Thursdays.
Art and Tea on Tuesdays and Translaties Talking Nerdy on Thursdays.
And beyond that, I'll be on whenever the fuck I feel like it during the week. And looking to do more filming this week, actually. Got a lot of filming to do, a lot of pre-Halloween stuff I want to do, and then a lot of Halloween stuff I want to do. Going to be getting started on that. And looking to maybe play some scary games this week, too. I got a few sitting there that I'd like to do. And we'll see.
Maybe
And
some surprises.
we're talking about getting back into some Phasmophobia as well. So there
I'm gonna
you
pee
go.
my pants and stream.
Yay! I'ma pee my pants. All right, catch you next time, everybody. Until then, thanks for watching, and sayonara.
Stay strafe. Penis.